Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and welcome back to the Superhero Rewind Commentary Project. As always, I've got my sidekick Austin with me. Hello, Austin.
What's up?
And also my son Jayson decided to pop in for this one, and tonight I'm going to do my upteenth video stream on Power Rangers 2017. I got my steelbook here, and yeah, I bought the steelbook for this movie. Oh, you didn't know about this?
You had that.
It's a good-looking steelbook. It's got the lightning bolt on the back, and it's got both the DVD and a Blu-ray. This was... I don't think they put this on 4K at the time, because this is still early enough that wasn't like, not everything was doing that yet. I don't think. This is 2017. Tell me if I'm off on that, Austin, or were we full on already in 4K world?
I have no idea. I don't even know if we were doing that yet then. At the very least, if we were, like, I didn't know about it.
Yeah. But it's got the Rangers and the Zords in the background behind the discs. Like, they did a nice job on this. Yeah. One thing that's annoying to me about this release, and I've probably mentioned this before, and by the way, I'll try not to say that constantly, because a lot of the things I'm going to say tonight, I've probably said before. I've talked ad nauseum about this movie, and this stream is, this commentary is a little bit obligatory, because we're trying to do new commentaries for every superhero movie ever made that we can get to anyway, and I did an unscripted review on this, real in-depth, a few years ago. So I've really said my piece on this. And I did a commentary with DJ back when he and I were doing Morphin Mania. Shout out to DJ. And so there's lots of old content about this. I may have a couple of new things here and there with this. I did have a little bit of a... Yeah, there definitely was. And I did have a little bit of a better watch with this than I have in a long time. So I don't know if I was just more in the mood for this for some reason, or if I just don't feel as strongly about it all these years later. I don't know. But, obviously, still lots of criticisms. I'm still going to be real critical with this. But, I don't know, Austin, it didn't, piss me off this time.
Yeah. No, I have exactly two thoughts about this film. It is okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks for... and he'll deliver his other thought later on.
No, one thought was O and the other thought was K.
Oh.
We're through.
Okay, so you didn't have two thoughts, you had two syllables about this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I was going to say about this release that has always irked me, and again, I might have mentioned this before, is the Blu-ray menu has a pretty decent kind of epic orchestral arrangement of the Mighty Morphin theme that appears nowhere in the movie. And I don't know if Brian Tyler composed that or where that came from, but it's really strange that it appears not in the credits, no plays. And I really expected trying to go for this more, for lack of a better term, darker, broodier, here's the darker version of Power Rangers. I kind of figured that the theme, especially since it was in the trailers, would be orchestrated that way, at least in some place in the score, and I was really surprised in the theater when that didn't happen. Like even Giacchino's Star Trek did that.
Yeah.
And it has, and I'll be relating this to Star Trek 09 in places, because it took some cues from that, certainly, particularly with its Jayson casting. But like that movie, you get to the credit, and like it's got little hints of the TOS theme here and there throughout it, especially that cool beam in the third act, when it's got that big epic dun 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 dun. You're like, yeah, it's Star Trek, and then you get to but that movie has its own theme. This sort of does, but like it's a real generic score, and then you get to the credits in 09, and it's got this really cool kind of sweeping epic version of the TOS theme. And I really expected that from this, and then it didn't give it to us. But somebody composed something like that for this, and then they didn't use it. So that's sad.
Yeah, well, and then Brian Tyler is the Mario movie, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was he doing on this movie?
Yeah, because he's doing all kinds of cool throwbacks to different Mario scores.
Maybe they just didn't let him. I don't know.
Or it was mandated with Mario.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo had their fingers on that movie so hard that they probably told him to do that.
Or he just is more of a Mario person than a Power Rangers person.
Yeah. I think that describes the majority of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that describes
that is true.
Everybody who worked on this movie.
You think everyone that worked on this movie is more of a Mario person than a Power Rangers
Even
person?
if they've never played Mario. Even if they played like Mario Kart Wii that one time.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get into this, but full disclosure, Austin and I prepped for this like we always do.
Yeah.
Jason's actually not watched this in a long time and didn't have a chance to look at it before this, but I invited him on anyway, because he's seen this a number of times and is a big Power Rangers guy, and so, guys, don't begrudge Jason for not doing his homework on this one, but he'll do a little bit more reacting than reviewing, so I didn't want to be disingenuous and pretend like Jason came in prepped. So anything he brings up about this is either in the moment or from past memories of having seen this, but he's not had a fresh look.
And I watched this in a theater.
When you were 7?
7, yep. And I hate this movie. Just like up front, I don't love it.
You might have a better viewing of it this time.
I don't honestly. I don't remember what my feelings were when it came out, like out of the theater, like as a.
I remember you liking it fine, but being a little bit bewildered by it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, that was Power Rangers? Okay. It didn't feel... Because you were a huge Power Ranger nut. And I was like, that didn't feel like Power Rangers. Well, meanwhile, Mikey asked to watch this with me yesterday. So Mikey is the age now that you were when you saw it. Mikey's 7. And I told... He goes, Dad, before we started watching it, do you like this movie? And I was like, nah, not really. And we watched it together. And we got to the end, and he looked at me, and he goes... What is your problem with this movie? Why don't you like this? That was great. So Mikey really enjoyed it. I thought he would be bored. A couple places I looked over at him, particularly during, just really talky scenes or when there hadn't been any action for a long time. And I was like, Mike, are you bored? He goes, no. And he was riveted.
I honestly think it's just like a crappy remake of Chronicle, but with...
Well, Josh Trank agrees with you.
For some reason,
he also complained really hard about that.
It's just kind of anything that is Power Rangers about this is, I feel like, very much like adjacent rather than actually Power Rangers, and it's like, I don't know, if you're gonna do a series Power Rangers, this is we haven't gotten to, I think 2017 is when Shattered Grid starts.
I was going to bring that up later. For several reasons, the timing of this is not fortuitous.
Yeah.
This was not the right time for this movie.
Yeah.
It needed to come a lot earlier or a couple years later.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to get something a lot more like the comics. Even if it is still live action.
And like
just
you said, none of that existed yet. When this comes out, the Boom comics had only been out for a year.
Right. Yeah.
And so you didn't have any of that. Like,
Yeah.
just to put this in a place and time, and then we'll start watching it. Jayson and I, when he was 6, went to Paramorphicon in 2016. And they were doing promotion for this movie at the convention.
Yeah.
And they had this, like, photo booth where you could get your picture taken. Do you remember this?
I do.
And
I still have it.
they put your face in the lightning bolt from those teaser posters that they did with Austin. I don't know if you remember this, but they did these teaser posters for all the Rangers, and it was just like their color and a lightning bolt. So it was like Jayson was in a red lightning bolt, and like and it like cut off part of his face, and that's how they sold it. And so at that convention, kids could go up and get their pictures taken with that, and then get that photo. So I've got one of Jayson somewhere. Of this Jayson.
Yeah, I think I have that.
With that. And so they were doing some promotion for it, but the Boom Comics had just started, and I brought a copy of, I mean, like, I don't even know if 1 was out yet, maybe one or 2, because I had a copy of issue 0 with me, and I had Ron Wasserman sign it.
Yeah.
So I've got a copy of 0 signed on the back by Wasserman, who did the original Power Rangers theme, that this movie doesn't have enough of.
Honestly, I
Took
just want
it full circle.
I just want to put like the entire Power Rangers album onto this movie and just have like Hope for the World and stuff.
We should do a re-edit.
Yeah.
That's all Wasserman music.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
cool.
Kick-ass, actually. We should totally do that. Anyway, so Jayson and I obviously are big diehard Power Ranger guys. Austin is not a Power Rangers person, so we'll get the perspective of a non-fan on this, which will be great. And it'll be, I think, more fun to get that perspective when we at some point get to 95. But here we are, because this came up on a wheel. So
no, and I also saw this in the theater. I was doing new movie reviews at the time, so I do have a movie review from when this came out on my channel. I have no idea.
Is it a minute and a half long?
No, I think it's 12 minutes. I was looking at it because I was like, did I review this? I don't remember. And I did find one, but I did not go through it. I do remember walking out being like, this was like perfectly serviceable. It was fine.
Because I was just imagining that review as you saying it was okay. I have 2 things to say about this movie.
It was okay.
Exactly.
It was okay, and then that was the whole review.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody.
No, I would guarantee my review will probably be the exact same, having not gone back to it.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you're not going to feel, obviously real strongly about it one way or another as far as like how it's adapting source material and all of that, not being a Power Rangers guy. And so then it's just how does it operate as a movie?
Yeah.
And so we'll see if you agree with very many of my criticisms with it just as a movie, because when this came out, my attitude was, well, if it sucks, this is a property that was in a real unique position, because such as it was, the series was still on. Yeah. Like, you were in the Neo Saban era, the series was still on. And so I was like, well, if it's terrible, it's not really a reboot. It's an adjacent thing. It's its own continuity. So, like, if it's terrible, we only get one, it's whatever. And then the sad part about it is, I was really wrong about all of that, because it kind of destroyed everything. This movie, retroactively, and we didn't realize this was going to happen at the time, but it's kind of the reason, I think actually it's entirely the reason that Hasbro ultimately got the license. This movie underperformed. They decided, even with decent, video watches and sales and stuff, not to make the sequel. There was talk for a little bit that maybe they would.
Yeah.
And then, immediately after that, the very next year, Saban sells to Hasbro. And if this movie hadn't tanked the way it did, I don't know that would have happened. All signs lead to that's why they sold. And then you fast forward to now, and Hasbro themselves have tanked the franchise, and now it's DOA, and there's another version being worked on for Disney Plus. I don't know how that's going to work out. So I mean, like, they're doing something, but at the moment, it's all flat. There's nothing going on. This movie is kind of to blame for all of that. So I guess it is kind of sad that worked out. Although, like, Neo Saban was kind of terrible. So
yeah, I just think this movie, like, before we get into it, I just think this movie could have been a lot better. Like, you could have made a good Power Rangers movie that appeals to, you know, a wider fan base.
We'll talk about it. Here we go. So if you want to watch it with us, and we encourage you to do that, get the timestamp 0, get ready to press play when I say now. And I don't know if this is streaming anywhere right now. I've got the like I said, the Blu-ray, so I didn't bother to go. Just timestamp 0 and get ready to press play. When I say now, I'm just about to do it. Austin, are you ready, sir?
Yep, let's do it.
I'm excited to see if Austin has any thoughts beyond "it's just okay." Actually, that would be 3 syllables. No, that would be 4 syllables.
Yeah, you're going too far. I'm not there yet.
All right, here we go. Everybody, please press play right now. So right out the gate, biggest thing this movie had going for it, and I think this is this seems to be unanimous, a unanimous opinion across the board, whether people loved this or hated it, but the cast is really solid.
Yes.
And I think
yes, they are.
Pretty much everybody agrees with that. If you don't, tell me in the comments. By the way, thanks for watching if you're watching this with us live right now. Thanks for watching after the fact. We'll try to interact with you some as we go. And as always, feel free to throw in a super chat if you have an opinion that you really want to see read. But we'll read your comments some here and there as we go. There's the Cenozoic era.
Yeah.
And after this, these suits are always referred to in the fandom as the Cenozoic Rangers. And so in Legacy Wars, on the phone game, which is really fun, it has the Blue Ranger from this movie, but it's specifically not supposed to be Billy. It's supposed to be whatever the Blue Ranger on Zordon's team would have been, and is considered Cenozoic Blue.
The fighting game does that. The phone game is interesting because it came out the exact same time as this movie.
Oh, was that just the fighting game?
And
okay. Just Battle for the Grid?
The phone game is the one where you literally start with all these characters, and then you branch off. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that has access to both franchises, because this movie is not available usually when we do Power Ranger stuff. So anyway, I don't want to get too far past the scene, because this is one of the coolest things in the movie, is just getting to see Zordon as a Red Ranger, and Cranston here, who is incredible casting, and I wish he got a little bit more to do. One question I had after this last viewing is, are Zordon's Rangers all of different species? Because that Yellow Ranger doesn't look anything like him. And I had not really caught that before, but she has very different prosthetics. And I thought it was, if that's the case, it's kind of a neat idea to have a Ranger team that's sort of like a Starfleet or something, that's made up of a bunch of different races, where they have maybe like
Rita kind of has that too.
A coalition. Yeah, I don't know that Rita's supposed to be Eltarian. And that's one of my big frustrations with this movie, of course, is we don't get into lore and mythology at all. And for the record, I would be frustrated about that whether I was a Power Rangers fan or not, because I just like that stuff in science fiction. So the fact that you have an alien race that is never named is really irksome to me.
I forgot it's never name dropped.
They never say that he's from Eltar. They never say what Rita is. They never say anything about how any of the Rangers got connected. It's so obnoxiously generic.
I think it would have been really cool if it was more lore-based than even the show.
Well, that was the big opportunity you had in doing something more sophisticated and relatively serious. is you take the admittedly really generic stuff you had in Power Rangers, but with real specific aesthetics, which of course they totally changed for this movie, and you ground it. And I don't mean ground it in reality. I mean you just make the rules clear. That's always been my biggest criticism with this, is that it has the same main problem that Power Rangers always had, is I don't know how anything works. And it's actually, in some ways, more confusing in this, with the morphing and the powers and the armor, as they call it now. And we'll talk about all that later on.
Also, I remember that opening scene being a lot longer.
That's because it's one of the only really memorable things in the movie.
It's like 5 seconds.
It's really sad. And it looks great. And, like, the Zordon prosthetics and all the tattoos and stuff, like, it's all really cool looking.
And it's weird going back to it after seeing more things with Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, because you're going through Breaking Bad
now. So it's like, I had no idea who that was.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's like, this is a pretty, like, alright to good coming-of-age teen movie that keeps getting interrupted with a boring, generic Power Rangers movie that, like, keeps bringing everything down. So, like, every time we go to that, it's like, this is not your strength.
Well, and what's sad is, as a Power Rangers fan, I agree with you. It kind of needed to pick a lane, I'm sorry to say. And, like, obviously, you can blend those things, and you should blend those things. But would you agree with this, Austin? It's kind of the same problem Amazing Spider-Man had. And I know you don't like that movie.
Yeah, well, I was thinking
quite
a bit about Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just in terms of taking something that, and, like, trying to make it super self-serious, and I just don't think it works. I think this is just the wrong take in general.
It's the wrong take, yeah. And the thing is, you can make it a lot more character-driven and give the characters a lot more dimension without it being really, like, brooding and oppressive. And I guess the tone with this isn't exactly oppressive.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. And, like, I think they do a good job of fleshing out the characters.
Yeah.
It's just every time we cut to Power Rangers stuff, it's like, this just doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't mesh together.
Mm-mm. No, not
and
at
I'm
all.
Like, I just want to go back to seeing these teens hang out. Like, I don't care about all of this stuff.
Yeah, well, and what's frustrating about it is because it's trying to be because it's supposed to be a Power Rangers movie, in interrupting it with that generic stuff and that also not being fleshed out and being very interesting, you lose all the screen time that you could have had making me understand these characters better. Because the performances are great, and the skeleton of who these people are and what they're up to is potentially interesting. I don't fully understand the motivations of some of them. Like, Jayson comes out as kind of the protagonist, as he should, being the leader of the team. And I guess the word of the night's going to be generic. Kind of generically, it watches because they're not explaining anything, Austin. It watches to me like he's just lashing out because that's what rebellious teenagers do. And, like, you can get hints of stuff, like his father is too pushy and seems to be maybe trying to live high school football dreams vicariously through him, maybe. Like, I don't even know that for sure. On first viewing, I thought maybe his mom had died, and he was reacting poorly to that, and so, like, he's this big high school football star, but he can't help but get in trouble because he's just lashing out because his mom died. There's a deleted scene where his mom is there.
Oh.
So, at least when they're making it, he's got a mom and a sibling.
The sense I got was more he's, like, the star football guy that, has to be, like, the perfect jock all the time, and just that pressure is too much, and, like, he can't fully cope with that. That was kind of more so the sense that I got.
Yeah.
But probably, like, with, like, an extension of what you're saying with his dad as well.
Okay, and that's fine, but it just needs some discussion.
Mhm. Yeah.
We don't actually know for sure what his
No, for
motivation,
sure.
and we really don't know what Kimberly's is, and at least we know what his home life is like in some capacity. I don't know anything about her. And maybe that's supposed to be a parallel thing, if you're right, Austin, between the two of them, is just the social pressures of being the popular kids.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
that's why
that.
they specifically have their kind of dynamic that they do.
Well,
And I
and,
think
like,
that works.
lean more into that, though, because I'm just not 100% sure if that's the main thing driving them.
Hmm. No, I agree. Like I said, I want this movie.
Yeah. Well, and that you could have opened with, they're on their highs before you get to their lows. I think maybe that's part of the problem, is that we only see them in detention. You know, like, I mean, like, we see the thing that gets him into detention. But what if the movie opened with, you know, he wins the big game and she's cheerleading at the big game and they're both in the same place, but they're not connected. They're not looking at each other, right? And then the next thing that happens is the horrible thing they both do that gets them into trouble. And then they find each other after that. I mean, that's how you structure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're also just going for that the Breakfast Club thing, where it's like we're all going to meet in the detention center. But yeah, you could definitely do what you're saying.
Well, and one thing I like is that they're not all, like, they end up all being kind of outcasts by the start of the movie, but they don't start out that way. I like that the Ranger team is made up of the popular kids and the outcasts and everything in between. That's cool. And in reimagining Power Rangers, it does the thing, like, all of the human side stuff is, or at least a lot of it is stuff I always wanted to see this franchise do, if it were to be reimagined as a more sophisticated thing. Because again, I always wanted this to happen, and in the comics, it handled it a lot better in finding that balance where you can still do some of the sillier, campier stuff and still get more in the characters' heads and flesh them out and make them real people and let them have some animosity and stuff. But I like that they aren't all in a big friend group before they become Rangers. That was always really silly. It was like Zordon just goes to a group of 5 best friends that are all that all kind of have perfect lives and do no wrong. And he's got 5 power coins, and he gets really lucky that there's just this group of 5 people that are perfectly
Just
altruistic.
Like Kid 90210, and that's kind of what we're updating. So, like, kind of expand more on that idea, I guess, with them as teenagers.
I'm trying to remember
it's
if
true.
they wear their colors in the original show before they get their powers.
They do.
Do they really?
That's how
hilarious.
convenient it is that they're already wearing the colors. Now, they do it in this, but subtly.
Yeah.
So Jason's got red on his t-shirt. Kimberly's got pink, I think, someplace. Like, they are still doing that. But it's more of that
later on when they're
CW
at that,
nod
like,
kind of thing.
That cliff thing, it's more apparent.
Oh, and his bike
where,
is
like,
red.
the one guy's got.
Oh yeah.
They did that on purpose. His bike is red.
Okay, that was weird. Why did they do that? Why is it edited like that? They just like cut to different spots in the.
Oh my god.
That got a big laugh in the theater. Both times I saw it. There's something about that angle and that actress is really kind of funny. It's like, oh my god, Jason's got... And just this idea of this mom that is like, her mind is still trapped in high school is really funny.
Sam Raimi would have used the hell out of that extra.
Yeah,
she
because
feels like she belongs to, like, a Spider-Man.
They pay that off
Raimi
nicely
movie.
in the 3rd act, where all the Rangers are together, and she knows all of their names and says them all out. That's kind of fun. She knows all the popular kids.
And Billy, of course, is the best thing in this movie.
He is, and it's shockingly inspired Austin because he could have been the most irritating thing, like really easily. He's the comic relief in like
I think
the
just a lesser
perfect
actor,
kind of way.
and you lose it. Yeah.
No, this actor is spectacular, and I listened to him.
That's the big thing that sells it.
I listened to him in interviews on the press tour when this came out, and like he is an honest god actor because he is obviously nothing like this character. He's putting all this on completely. Like they didn't go find this guy like this archetype. This is an actor. He doesn't sound anything like this.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he reminded me a bit of the guy from Alien Romulus, that plays the robot that also is kind of playing like a on the spectrum thing at the beginning. It reminded me a bit of that performance.
That's a good call. I forgot all about that. Of course, that was a little later, but
Oh yeah, no, of course.
right, a lot later, I guess, because Romulus is the one that just came out, right?
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
But yeah, their friend chemistry is spectacular. And I think, because I said Jayson should, if there is a central protagonist in, in a Mighty Morphin update, it should be Jayson, of course, being the leader. But you want everybody to get, not just moments, but a little bit of an arc. Like, it should be an ensemble. And you do get some of that. Like, I think Jayson and Kimberly are kind of up front and center, and then Billy is kind of more comic relief and used for big plot points, and then the other two are kind of more in the background. And I think it's a mistake not to do more of these pairings or to give them more screen time. So you get to say, like, these two become fast friends very quickly, and could have been a great buddy duo in their own right for their own movie. Like, just these two actors in some kind of a buddy thing would have been great. And then you've got Zach and Trini, who are the two most underutilized characters, who also they pair off kind of, and like they should be that other duo, were it a romance or not. And they don't do anything with it. So like he has this. Zach is introduced I feel like this whole thing is dropped. Like Zach is introduced in having this fascination with her as a crazy girl, and he's crazy too, and so they have this impulsive, like reckless thing in common, and they live life like they're gonna live forever. And then the moment that he finds out that she's homosexual, that they just drop that entirely. It's done. That's it. We never go back to it.
He's like, oh no, she's off limits.
Yeah, and then that's it. And I'm like, couldn't they have been friends still? Couldn't they have bonded over their, respective kind of outsider thing? Like, she's got a family that doesn't understand her, and he's got a mom that he's afraid isn't going to be with him very long, and they could experience loss in different but relatable ways. It makes perfect sense to put those two characters together, again, romantically or otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Zach just kind of ends up being like another comedic relief.
Yeah, and it doesn't work as well. The putting the tooth back thing is a motif that keeps coming back. I don't understand why they think that's funny. They say it 3 times, and then it's even in deleted scenes that didn't make the movie.
Oh man!
Like they just keep saying
I need to
it.
Look at those deleted scenes.
You knocked this tooth out, but they put it back. Okay.
They fixed it. She did something wrong, and they fixed it.
I mean, that's okay.
Every broken person can be completed.
I meant to say this at the beginning, and again, I'm sure I brought this up before, but I don't remember. There's a slogan, or whatever you would call it. There's a quote on the wall at the in the hallway at the school at the very beginning. So the first shot we get after the Zordon flashback, that says something along the lines of everything that's easy starts out hard, or something like that. The idea that like everything worth doing is difficult at the beginning, which is the thematic crux of the whole movie, and I like that a lot. I even think they could have honed in a little harder on that, because that's sort of the thesis statement of the movie. It's like it's not like it's not about anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the idea that they have to not just become generically selfless heroes, like the Thor thing where he's not worthy of the hammer until he does the self-sacrifice, but they have to be willing to sacrifice each other for each other, and that's the crux of teamwork, and Power Rangers always being about teamwork. And so like they have to do that before they can morph is a spectacular idea, and it just doesn't work because of the way the powers work in this movie, which again I'll talk about a little bit later on. But the main rule...
How did you get up there?
The main rule of Power Rangers was always... and I like that they keep the three rules intact. Was always never escalate a fight. And the idea that... Because we're trying to teach kids something through it. And the idea that you have to embody that ideal before the power will protect you is great.
Yeah, you're right. This cast is really good. I never liked their Zach, but
he just doesn't get enough screen time. He wins me over when we get to his speech about his mom. And the little interactions
he's got moments
that we get with them.
But like he doesn't get a ton of time. It's very much here's our core trinity, and then the other two are there because you have to have 5.
Yep. They're just kind of there. Which is why they're paired off.
I imagine they probably would have gotten more to do in a sequel. Like that feels like the natural extension, where it's like they didn't get as much to do last time, so...
Yeah, well, and I feel like Trini is maybe the most archetype or most stereotypical of them. Just because we don't spend enough time with her. But like she's got a chip on her shoulder because her parents don't understand her, and that's kind of her deal. It's kind of all she's got.
Mm-hmm. It's like you have that, and then Zach's kind of thing is just he's crazy and he like jumps on moving vehicle.
Yeah, but at least he's got like a character quirk thing, and that comes from the trauma of being worried he's going to lose his mom. So like that's a defense mechanism. And so there's at least something there. And with her...
There's at least something.
She just kind of, like, runs around out here.
She's got, like, the oppressive parents, which is the thing that she has that the others don't have.
And again, I like that it's kind of the opposite of Zach's thing. Where in being the background characters, they deliberately paired them off and gave them an interesting mirroring thing. And so you can tell there's probably a script where that's real fleshed out. They don't watch like they're supposed to be background characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And Trini also ends up, at least for the sake of the story, with the distinction of being the one that Rita comes and messes with, and so she gets that scene. And that's kind of her one big thing to do. This is where some of the plot stuff doesn't add up. I'll never understand how Rita found her and knew that she was the Yellow Ranger or any of that.
Something, she's also a Power Ranger, so something, she can sense them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and
it's same with, there's just convenient stuff, like also just, they find the power coins at the same time that she's dug up as well.
Yeah, you have to use what you just said as the excuse for absolutely everything with Rita. Where it's like, yeah, maybe the coins called to each other. Why on earth wouldn't you at least put a camera on her green coin and have it glow at the same time that theirs is glowing, and then, oh, it woke her up.
Yeah.
And that's all the explanation I would need.
Yeah.
I really like
That makes
the,
sense.
oh, we don't care about Zach.
Yeah, they just leave him. I mean, I don't know what else they're supposed to do in this situation.
Also, that guy looks more like a Zach than Zach in Mighty Morphin. Like, that is the most Zach-looking guy.
That's hilarious. Just
He's the
that
most
name
Zach
goes
man
with this
to
guy
ever
better.
Zach.
Yeah.
What's kind of awkward about it is
Dude.
I kind of can't help but want to call him Adam
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because he's the Asian Black Ranger, and like, I don't mean to pigeonhole people based on ethnicity, but it's just kind of weird that if you were gonna race swap something with the Black Ranger, you went to an Asian guy, because the second Black Ranger is an Asian guy, and has not the same personality, but the most personality of anybody on that team besides Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is real over the top, and so I can't help but think, like, I'm actually looking at Adam, but they named him Zach. Like, this would have been a good reinterpretation of Adam.
I think this is also the same actor that plays Liu Kang in the new Mortal Kombat, which also has you have to, like, I think so. I could be wrong about that. That's what Hayden told me, so I'm
If
trusting
that's
him.
true,
But
I'm sure I brought that up when we reviewed it years ago, but I don't remember now.
I mean, he's in that movie for like 3 minutes, and he's off in the background, so you never know. But because that movie also has the you got to earn your power thing.
Oh, that's true, it does. And is somehow
Yeah.
lamer there.
Oh, it's awful.
Because the thing with this movie is, it's more of a structure issue for me. Like, the idea that they have to, again, come to, be willing to sacrifice each other for each other to morph is great. But I can like that and also complain that it takes too long.
Mm.
And I just think there's a better way to structure it.
I also think it's
Peter
kind of
Parker
weird
doesn't
that...
need his glasses then anymore.
I think it's kind of weird that, unless correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of these characters studied martial arts.
No,
No.
and that's sad. Now, they shouldn't all do that, because that's silly.
Yeah.
But at least let Jayson have a background in it.
Yeah.
At least let one of them have a background in karate or something.
That's why they got to get trained. That would have been their Tommy thing. He would have come in and already known martial arts.
Well, I will say, yeah, maybe. But then that's kind of weird, because he's supposed to be, like, the loner, undisciplined guy, and he's the one that's been to karate school. Jayson is way too jacked, even for a high school football player. It's like, this character worked out like this because he knew he was going to be playing a Power Ranger. And then I don't even know what the point of that is, because the suit does all the work.
Yeah.
Also, the actor that people wanted for Johnny Storm in the MCU. He was also in Drop My Water.
That wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah, no, I think he would have been a good pick. He was also in Stranger Things. People were like, "Oh, get that Stranger Things guy to be Johnny Storm," and then they just picked a different Stranger Things guy.
So it would have been, Jayson, a reinvention where you're not even looking at all at the original character, but just name this guy either Bulkmeyer or Skulovich,
Yeah.
and you're done. Like, the fact that they have a bully in this movie, a bully that shows up in multiple scenes, and he's not named either of those things, and there's not a Bulk and Skull, is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I call this
Yeah.
guy Skulk. Both of them.
See, that's what I would have done. Also, this is going to be a very silly, nerdy compliment, but they found a school with this stairwell, and I really appreciate that, because the Angel Grove school in the show had exactly this stairwell, and they had conversations in it all the time.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's cool.
That's kind of just like the generic school stairwell. I feel like they all kind of look like that.
Maybe so. I did appreciate that they had that, though.
Yeah.
Also, the high school dynamics in this are really believable.
Yeah. Like I said, this is all the best stuff. Like, this is the stuff where I'm like, I want to live in this movie, and then I keep getting dragged out of it for a generic movie.
Yeah, and it's just sad because they could have married them. Like, you could have absolutely been won over on the Power Ranger side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that the like self-serious Power Rangers thing works. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's too campy to remove that from it. It's like I don't know that.
No, you're not
this
wrong.
teen movie could have fit into it.
Okay, look, it could have worked better. The thing, because the thing is, and I don't mean to keep harping on the same points, Austin, but if only the other side of it was less generic, you'd still raise your eyebrow at the inherent campiness that's in some of it that they're stuck with, but you at least could have had some really interesting alien stuff that they get dragged into on top of the teen stuff, and maybe even found some interesting character paralleling with Zordon and Rita's background and stuff like that. Like Zordon and Rita could have been the prototype for Jayson and Kimberly, and then Jayson and Kimberly are the characters that have to like learn from their mistakes and not do the same unfortunate stuff that led Zordon and Rita down the paths that they went. Like, there's stuff you could have done.
Yeah,
There's so much they could have done. I don't know. I guess I also just don't love the like teenage drama thing anyway, where it's like, I don't know. If you have to make Power Rangers that, then it's just not as much my thing.
Because when Power Rangers does get kind of serious, I love that juxtaposition when it works. Again, particularly in the comics, but where you've got like real serious and sometimes even dark character stuff that happens on top of an extremely campy premise. Like, it's been married well before, but the problem is leading with the more broody thing doesn't work.
Yeah, I just feel like if this were made 2 years later, they would have made a campier movie, and that was the thing they should have made in the first place.
Yeah. But you would have had to go to totally different creators. We've got...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We've got some okay screenwriters on this, and then we've got one particularly bad set of screenwriters on this. So Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless did the bulk of the legwork on conceptualizing this, and their credits include both Morbius and Madam Web right after this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And they made Gods of Egypt and Last Witch Hunter, and so they have had exactly one movie that made money, and that was Dracula Untold, and they keep getting work after that.
Oh,
yeah, that's who we're
I will
dealing
never
with
forget
here.
seeing. I will never forget seeing the Morbius trailer and being like, "Oh my god, why does this look like a remake of Dracula Untold?" And I looked up who made it. It was written by the writers of Dracula Untold.
And now you know. Now, let me ask you this hypothetical question, Austin. Can you do a thing like this and have a big deliberate tonal shift in either direction? Because I think the problem with this movie is that it's tonally uneven, but could you start the way this movie starts, and then once the Ranger powers come into play, these characters basically realize that they're in a lighter, campier universe, and then you just have a big tonal shift? Could you do that?
Possibly, because already with the character stuff, we're getting into a sillier place. It's just every time we get to the Power Rangers stuff, it's so just self-serious, and like them doing that with like really silly, campy stuff just doesn't work. Like when they're, I don't know, when they're talking about all the mythology stuff, like it just kind of comes off as cringy to me.
Me too.
Or just like talking about any of that stuff where I'm like, oh, like this does not fit the like Begins Amazing Spider-Man.
No.
I don't even think it works for Amazing Spider-Man, but like taking that route with it just does not work.
Well, especially because there's no substance to any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even if there was, like, I would still be cringing, but like it's at least better. Like I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't want that stuff to be horribly self-serious. Although, like, I want the characters to take it seriously, but there's got to be a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing happening. So, like, because there's also a bad comedic MCU direction to take this, right? There is a Thor Ragnarok version of this movie. Where, like, if Zordon's just cracking stupid jokes the whole time, like I can't have that. I need Zordon to be dead serious. Like, Zordon's got to be Jor-El, or it doesn't work. And I don't care what ridiculous exposition he's spouting. Like, he's got to not see the silliness in it at all.
But then Rita's also very Hellas. Like, even though they came out the same year, those two characters are very similar.
Oh, that's a great point too. Yeah.
And the self-serious thing does not apply to Rita. Rita's just hamming it up. They're like, just have fun.
Well, and that's the place where it can't decide what kind of movie it wants to make, because she's more. I mean, she's more serious than your average Power Rangers villain in like what they let her do, where like she feels more imposing and like she might actually kill you, but she is straight up a standard, or maybe not standard, but she's straight up a campy Power Rangers villain. And she's not like the original Rita, obviously, but she's a Power Rangers villain.
Yeah, she's, especially the voice Elizabeth Banks puts on, like, it's very hammy.
Yeah. And I don't mind her performance. Like, I'm a little bit indifferent to their take on Rita just as Rita. One thing that I don't really know how to feel about, and Jason, tell me what you think about this, is the idea of Rita being originally the Sixth Ranger, originally being the Green Ranger, and that's why she has the coin. It's nice to have an explanation for why she has the coin.
Yeah.
That's good. The frustrating thing about it is this movie has too many standard modern superhero tropes, and one of them is the villain has to be an evil ranger. And I like evil rangers, but I don't really want to open with it, because too many superhero movies have that, where like your bad guy is evil Iron Man or evil Ant-Man, and now we do it with this, and it kind of makes you wonder. In opening with it, it makes you go, why do the Power Rangers bother at all? They're just creating their own problems. Like, this is just Zordon having to clean up his own mess. And so maybe the Power Rangers team was never a good idea in the first place, because the Morphin Grid is too easy to corrupt.
When it would have made 2 really awkward, when it would have just been the like Green Ranger saga.
Well, that's a great point, because yeah, we just did an evil Green Ranger. And so unless you did Tommy totally differently, and people would not have accepted him not starting out evil, and then you've already gotten rid of Rita, so your sequel would be, and we know they were going to do Zed, and we've seen concept art for Zed, so it would have almost certainly been Zed gets her green coin from space, because we see her floating in space at the end, and then he goes and finds Tommy and seduces him to the dark side in some way, or full-on mind controls him like the show, however they do it, and then you have an evil Green Ranger.
I figured it would have had both of them.
Yeah, so
I assumed that she would have come back.
I think the cinematography there is good. I really like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, Austin, I did not assume that. I figured they would just move because they were going to do Zed, and yeah, they could have done Zed and Reed at the same time. I kind of assumed that they would just have Zed get the coin and then give it to Tommy, because after all, if you don't do that, then how does she have powers? Like, you'd have two Green Rangers at the same time. That's not possible. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They probably would have done something different. Because isn't she like on the moon in the show? She's like heading off towards the moon at the end.
And they very deliberately have her on a trajectory to the moon at the end. I like that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so I always figured your sequel is just her and Zed on the moon, and then they send the Green Ranger.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, maybe the sequel would have been trying to do more Power Rangers. They just spent too much time on the origin here.
Like, she's got the coin, but, like, she kind of is doing her own thing at the same time. Like, they kind of play it both ways.
Well, but everything she's able to do comes from the coin. So they're not explaining any of this very much, but there's enough here where I can tell what they're doing, because they've got the big thing that makes it clear, Austin, that she is somehow, and I wish we would get into how, I don't really get it given how hard it is for them to learn to morph. She has somehow corrupted the morphin grid so that she can do a, like, pseudomorph, and is
well, you could have done something with
off
that.
On her
Maybe
own.
She can, like, morph onto somebody. Like, she can kind of, like, shoot that power onto somebody. Is maybe how you do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's weird about it is, because she has that line with Trini where she says, "You show me mine, and I'll show you," or "I'll show you mine, you show me yours," and then she does, and then like those lines start appearing on her face. So she's got this like weird half morph thing she's doing, and.
Mm-hmm.
If you did what you're talking about, see, what I don't really understand is how you'd have an evil Green Ranger that morphs into a regular looking Power Ranger, given what we see it does to you if you corrupt it somehow and are still using it, because she's not able to have a regular Ranger suit. So I don't even know how that works, but.
Well, I always thought it was just because her helmet like explodes at the beginning, so she doesn't have a helmet anymore.
Yeah, but she still doesn't have the rest of her costume either. Maybe the whole costume exploded. I don't know.
Well, she's got the costume; it's just missing pieces, which would make sense because she was in that explosion.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that. I really thought it was. You're probably right. I never thought about that. Because I always just saw it as, well, she's learned some way to, like. Tap into the grid and use it like for evil, selfish ways, because it's not supposed to work that way, clearly, the way they've set it up. And that's a standard Power Rangers thing where it's possible to corrupt it. But boy, I wish we'd get into it, given that we spend so much time on there trying to figure out how to morph, and then the big revelation is it's a self-sacrifice thing. And so it's like, how does she still have powers?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's why she's got to use it as like a staff.
Different colored kids. Well, that and Rita just is supposed to have a staff. But yeah, different.
Yeah, but like specifically why that's
different colored kids is a great line. I kind of like that, because it's not just their colors; it's also the fact they're all different ethnicities. And in this version. They actually are all 5 different ethnicities, because they didn't go with a straight up Caucasian Kimberly. And and when I first saw this, because I don't give a lot of thought to that kind of thing, I'm pretty colorblind generally, and so it didn't even occur to me that she was of a different ethnicity. And then in the special features, and I've seen her run other things where she's playing deliberately different ethnicity, and then in the special features, there's a scene with her parents, and they're clearly Indian, and so I'm like, oh, okay. So we really did go with.
When Trini is Hispanic.
She's Hispanic, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's the voice of the Blue Beetle suit in the Blue Beetle movie.
Is that right? I didn't know that. That's cool.
I've still
Yeah,
never
that's
seen
another thing Hayden told me about.
It is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've come around on it. I enjoy it okay. But it's kind of a better Power Rangers movie than this. But what's
Yeah, kind of.
well, it does all the suit
I hadn't
stuff
thought-
really
had that
well.
thought, but I hadn't had that thought, but kind of.
Kind of.
Question.
Yeah. Sorry.
How does Alpha 5 know English?
He watched a bunch of TikTok.
Well,
Vine at this time.
they do that standard throwaway explanation of English is a very simple language that they can just immediately pick up, and so you just have to assume they have some sort of a universal translator that can really easily figure it out. I think it's hilarious that they got Bryan Cranston and like a quarter to a third of his dialogue is in an alien language. I just think that's really funny. You get this great beloved actor, and most of what he says up until he finally speaks English is like things like "cut-assed."
Oh.
Cut-assed.
So what do you think of the Alpha in this movie?
Well, first of all, I hate to repeat myself, but like I said earlier, I'm just a big fan of this whole cut-assed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good cut-assed. But anyway, the Alpha design is a little bizarre. I think it's funny that they tried to design it so that it had a big smile in the middle, like between the eyes.
I just don't know why he has a beer gut. That's always been the thing that most confuses me.
That's kind of odd.
But Bill Hader is good casting for it, I think. And a lot of this stuff, I was going to mention this earlier, you can really feel Man of Steel influence on this movie.
Yes.
And I think this has some of that with how we do Zordon. It's really hard in the third act when we go to Angel Grove, and it's basically Smallville and Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's sad. I also don't like, and some of this is admittedly just the Power Rangers fan of me, but I don't like that when we finally do the suit stuff and we do Megazord things and all of that, there's no communication back to their version of the command center. Zordon in no way guides them and helps them figure out anything. They don't even talk to Alpha during that scene. Like, there's none of that.
Yeah, I guess it's just supposed to be, they finally come together. So, that might have been... that might have lessened it a little bit, I guess. Like, if you cut back to Zordon and he's, giving them advice or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so.
It's really weird hearing Bryan Cranston say things about Power Rangers. That's really funny.
Yeah, well I gotta tell you, I didn't know that was on my bucket list. I didn't know that I needed to hear Bryan Cranston say Zeo Crystal before I died, but I'm so glad that happened. It does make me really happy. And again, I wanted more show mythology stuff, but at least if we have to have a big MacGuffin, all-powerful gem or something, it's the Zeo Crystal. I mean, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
But that goes into the thing you were talking about, Austin, the kind of tonal
That's a cool shot.
weirdness where it's like, is this a campy thing or not? We go with this grounded looking, super, like you said, self-serious version of Power Rangers. But not only is the Zeo Crystal under a Krispy Kreme, so we do this silly campy thing with that, which I like if you're going to go down that track. I'm in the minority, right? I actually think that's kind of fun. But not only do you have that, but you also have this idea that every planet that supports life has a shard of a crystal in the middle of the planet that makes life possible. And that's just a bridge too far if you're trying to be grounded. That's so goofy. It's like, what kind of movie are you making?
That, vision he just gave them straight up Man of Steel and that vision that Superman's in.
Well, and you're also kind of bearing the lead a little bit in Man of Steel influence in that you've also made the command center a broken down spaceship in the same way you did the Force of Solitude in that movie. It's precisely the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying specifically with Zordon. Like, it looks like the technology we do on the Kryptonian ships there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the ship in general.
Yeah, you're doing the Drell thing, but even the idea that you would reimagine a major location as a crashed spaceship, and that you have the same scene where that you did with Lois in that movie, where you spend a really long time just like walking around looking at ruins with this sense of mystery. And in the special features, in the deleted scenes with this movie, there's a lot more of it. They walk around forever. I'm glad they cut a lot of that. There's special features, or there's deleted scenes they shouldn't have cut. There's particularly there's like an argument with Jason's dad that fleshes out a little bit of that stuff that should have been left in, and there's some moments with Trini and Kimberly that they really should have kept, where they had a little bit more of a budding friendship happening. But boy, all the just walking around the spaceship stuff. Say again.
Well, I was just saying that like there's a little bit of that of mixing those two up too.
Before Kimberly grabs Trini and does like the bait and switch with the water bottle and gets her to come into the water, originally they have a whole exchange before that where they introduce each other and they learn about each other, and it's not that long. They should have left all that in.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, maybe they just thought it kind of killed the pacing there.
I don't
know, it's hard to say.
It's just not long enough to kill the pacing. It's like 60 seconds, and it really could have used it.
I think the big thing, really, with this movie is if, like, all the non-Power Ranger stuff is all right. Like, I don't hate it. But if you had put in, like, actual Power Ranger lore with and it makes the whole thing seem a lot lamer.
Well, and it's in the tradition of doing the like self-serious reimagining of just the pilot of something.
Yeah.
So it's going back besides the Zeo crystal, the only thing they're looking at is Day of the Dumpster. So this is a 2-hour version of a 20-minute pilot. That's all they have.
Which I was gonna bring that up too, if because I had the same thing. Like it very much is a pilot, and I think if it was going to be a pilot, this should be an hour and a half long movie. I think 2 hours is a little too long for what they have.
That too, but it's just kind of sad because
hour 45 at most.
It reads like these guys didn't do their homework and they're not really interested in the Power Ranger side, and they that was just the property they were assigned to do this with. And so they've got some inspired ideas with how to flesh some of these characters out, but it feels like all they watched was the first episode, all the way down to Such As He Is. The big third act is a Megazord fight with Goldar. That's the pilot. They also had a missed opportunity, Jason. And this is not going too far for this movie, especially because, again, it's so tonally inconsistent. It can't decide how serious or not it wants to be. They have the token lines like "Make my monster grow." It is weird that it's not "Make my Goldar grow." I'm getting into Power Ranger nerdy stuff again, Austin. But in the Mighty Morphin pilot, it's not "Make my monster grow," it's "Make my Goldar grow," and she doesn't have multiple monsters, so why wouldn't that be the line? I'll never understand that.
Because then it would just be the pilot. They're trying to give you other things.
No, they're not. They're doing the Star Trek 09 thing where they say, "Oh, she said the thing. She said the thing," because everybody knows "Make my monster grow," but she only has Goldar. Just have her say that. But anyway,
or do something that's not Goldar. He's barely Goldar anyway.
We'll get into Goldar, but you have because that's just. I mean, speaking of DCEU, they go to doomsday places in this. Like, that is that BVS problem of you took the name of a thing and then you made this really gross-looking amorphous blob and called it Goldar. Just like with Doomsday. But anyway, missed opportunity to not have it when she first comes out, after 65 million years I'm free. She should have said that. Because in Power Rangers, it's after 10,000 years I'm free, and we know they've all been buried for since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. They should have had her say that.
Flip it and have Zordon say it.
Oh, sure. They could have had Zordon say it. Oh, except he's not free. He's in a wall. It would have made no sense for him to say that.
Alpha can say it then.
I'm also a big fan, and especially now after they've done a lot of this in the comics, but I'm a big fan of morally ambiguous Zordon. And when it's done well in regular Power Ranger stuff, he is almost pacifistic to a fault. It's a little bit different in this. But I do like the idea, especially in casting Bryan Cranston, because he plays this kind of stuff well. I like the idea that he's kind of initially using them, and that he's just trying to get them to morph so that he's got enough power to get out of the wall, and he doesn't actually think that this team can beat Rita, because that's kind of believable. Like, he just got these teenagers and doesn't think that they can cut the mustard, and is desperate to like not just save the earth but clean up his own mess. So I like the kind of moral ambiguity of that. And then his redeeming himself by saving Billy, and I don't like the whole Billy death thing, but they at least use that as a device to give him a reason to sacrifice himself for the team. And that's okay, I guess. So that he's not entirely morally ambiguous, so you get to the end of it, you don't hate Zordon. Because I don't want to hate Zordon.
He just kind of exists. And just
It's
wow.
disturbing.
Okay, so can I get into my spiel about the armor? Do you have the thing that I have with this?
I may.
Okay, morphing in this is stupid. The fact that you even have to morph is ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. Because they already have powers. So in this, Power Rangers means if you have a power coin, you get mostly just super strength. They're pretty generic with it. I don't know what the powers are beyond just you're extra strong. That's kind of it. But you get that whether you're morphed or not, which is, of course, not how Power Rangers ever worked before. And so now all morphing is about is protecting yourself, which, again, I like the idea that your heart has to be in the right place to morph. But I think your heart should have to be in the right place to even have the power, not just to protect yourself. But beyond that, if it's just armor, why do you need this whole elaborate, like, almost supernatural feeling? I realize it's technology in this. They don't do the magic side, which I like. I like reimagining this as just science fiction. I always kind of wanted that, honestly. But now morphing is just getting this armor to come on your body. All it does is protect you. Why can't it just be in a locker somewhere and you just put it on?
I think the honest answer, Cap, is just without that, you have like an hour and 45 minutes where they have no power.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
They were like,
because they want to do the Spider-Man stuff.
We need to have some of that. Yeah.
They want to have those scenes, and some of that I don't like. They want to have those scenes where everybody's trying to learn their powers and they're breaking things. And the scene in the cafeteria, I think, is irritating. Where they put their power coins on the on a counter, and then everything starts melting. That's dumb.
The scene where Kimberly and Trini have their little food thing is ripped straight out of Kung Fu Panda.
Is it? I haven't seen that in a long
Yeah,
time.
and it's very plot important in Kung Fu Panda. Well, here it's just, I don't know, we kind of just did that thing from Kung Fu Panda.
It just gives them a fun moment together where they've been training and they're learning how to have a lot of good hand-eye coordination and all of that. I think that's a real cute moment. I have a real soft spot for that.
I do too.
I love that moment.
I do too. I think it's like a cute little moment between them, but I also find it distracting.
I even like the song choice. And like, I'm not a fan of this kind of music, but in the context of this, I really liked this montage, and that song choice. And I will say, originally, that scene was not supposed to be part of a montage.
Really?
And that was supposed to be...
That makes sense.
I think that was supposed to be our introduction more concretely to the Krispy Kreme. And that's where the Jayson David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson cameo was supposed to be. Or maybe they would have had two. But the idea was they're sitting at the table doing all of that, and then you cut over to a table next to them, and have you ever seen this? And they reveal that Jayson David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson are sitting there staring at them. And that's kind of fun, because they're sitting down, but they're kind of doing martial arts stuff, so that you would then cut over to those two.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. So did they actually shoot that?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's in the deleted scenes.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was let that part of the montage go a little longer, or cut back to it during the montage. There's no reason you had to lose it. And then you would have got to see them twice, where it's like you introduced them in that cameo, and then at the end you see them again, just with their phones, after the Megazord battle, and it would have seemed a lot lamer that the only cameo you get with a couple of original Rangers is they're just standing there with their phones.
Yeah.
So yeah, big mistake not to leave that in.
I feel like this needs a director's cut.
It does. It needs a director's cut, and it needs a new soundtrack. And by new soundtrack, I mean old soundtrack with Wasserman. That's what they need. John's in the comments saying Power Ranger things. Hi, John. He says, between the power coins being more like gems and the superpowers, it feels like they're also looking at Dino Thunder. Yes, especially because the Rangers have powers when they're not morphed.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And they have some of the same kind of bickering and stuff that you get in Dino Thunder. Now, I don't think these writers are looking at that show or have ever seen anything beyond Day of the Dumpster. I really don't. But they did happen to land on that also. Austin, this is a thing that irks me.
Why does the Mastodon have more legs than it should?
Well, this whole scene is stupid. Like, I kind of hate the scene, because I don't think he should be able to drive the Zord if he can't morph. Like, it makes no sense that you would have that big moment when they get their Zords and they're in their suits, when they've got the holes in the back of the suits that link up to the Zords, that they have the tubes that connect up to them so they can control their Zords. And I'm like, well, then why are they remotely pilotable without that? I don't, like, okay.
I guess that's why you can't control it well, I guess. I don't know.
I guess,
We
but
needed
nothing
to
about...
establish the Zords.
Well, everything about this technology is stupid, because first of all, it doesn't have any security at all, and second of all, if you have to figure out teamwork to morph, why don't you have to figure that out to pilot a giant mech robot? But no, the other thing that irks me, Austin, that I was going to bring up, and I've said this before, is the power coins don't at all look like coins. You can't even be sure when you're looking at them that they're man-made. Why would you look at one and say, oh, a coin? Like, I don't even mind Zordon calling them coins. But the fact that the Rangers themselves, when they first see them, refer to them as coins. They don't look like coins.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
They only call them that because that's what they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. No, of course.
Also, why doesn't Zordon understand how morphing works? Like, this does not strike me as an example of they have to figure this out totally on their own, so he just can't explain it to them. Like, I really don't know why he can't explain it to them. Why can't he just say you have to learn to put each other first? They would still have to figure that out. They would still have to get that in their hearts. I don't think it would undercut that for him to, like, it's playing as that kind of typical you had to learn this all yourself. But then, even if that is what it is, we also never cut back to him and have him say that. It's like, what, you had to learn this yourself.
Maybe
I couldn't explain it to you.
As far as we know, there's only one team before this with him. So maybe it's just they never had that issue, so they just morphed. Maybe he doesn't even really know
That's
what the issue is.
possible. We're like, maybe it's like the original Mighty Morphin team where they were all just real tight in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, maybe he's just like, well, can't they morph?
That's awesome.
We never had any issues.
Okay, I rescind that slightly. That could totally be what it is. Well, that's true because no, he really doesn't know why they can't morph. So your explanation is the only possible, because you have that bit toward the I forgot where he says Alpha, why can't they morph? He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah, so he's definitely just like, what the hell's going on? We never had any issues.
I also don't understand what the platforms are about. It's like you can morph without them. Mm-hmm. What is the point of them besides just tapping into power?
For a trailer.
That or
I guess probably that's what like is powering into Zordon or whatever. I guess is probably what it is.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
is that you got to do that so that Zordon can absorb it.
Yeah.
Oh god, this scene.
I don't.
Also, Zordon has red in him because he was the Red Ranger.
Yeah. So something I learned today that I was not aware of, because I watched the blooper reel for this movie, which is irritating and not worth your time. But there's a... Yeah, it's really weird because a lot of the bloopers are just Bill Hader saying things, and they're only like half rendering Alpha in a bunch of scenes. It's just weird. But
was he there? Like, did he mocap it on set?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is they just had him do a bunch of silly lines. I mean, I'm like, it's like 3.5 minutes. It's not even a real. Most of it. It's not even real bloopers. But anyway, so in that though, they do one where Bryan Cranston does kind of a silly ad lib about the stupid morph in the shower line, and he is which I don't like because it's just not very classy. But anyway, and they show how he filmed his scenes in the wall, and so obviously they've got his head on a green screen, but they did the full alien makeup.
I knew that.
With all of his lines.
Yeah.
What?
So everything he delivered, he's got that entire prosthetic thing going on. But it looks really funny because he's just wearing.
On this for a day.
It's really funny because he's wearing regular clothes underneath it. So he's just wearing like a button-up shirt or something, and then he's got he's got the blue makeup with all the.
Because you can't see it.
You can't see it. I don't know what the point of that was.
You can kind of tell that he's got like the ridges that he had.
It would have been so easy to add that in post. That's the place that you use
that's
CG
what I'm saying
for that.
Yeah. No, exactly. But he probably also filmed this movie in like a day, so it's probably just all done at once.
And then the putties have that same
God.
kind of
Slow-mo.
doomsday problem of just everything's got to be a big amorphous blob. Like, I don't mind them being big, like that's fine, and being rocky, that's fine.
They're more. They're going for like the background Decepticons in the Michael Bay sequel
That's
Transformer
exactly right.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah, no, there's a lot of
and
Transformers in
that's
this.
like a little bit of the. Yeah, I was gonna say that there's some of that in the DNA of this as well. Not a ton, but like it is there.
Well, and luckily the none of that in like the humor and the overall attitude of it, just more in the like post stuff, more in the effects and things.
Well, I was gonna say like it's in some designs, but even then, like I don't think any of the effect stuff in the third act is especially well shot or anything.
No,
It's
it's
all
not.
very just bland, and that's not something I can say about the Michael Bay Transformers movies, at least for the first three. Like, he knew how to shoot that stuff. That's why it still looks good.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is that that's an influence. They're not doing it
Yeah.
well.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the Zord stuff looks really kind of bad, and I mean, like the designs aren't good, but even beyond that, that that stuff doesn't look like it's there, and some of the CG in this looks quite good. The like Alpha looks good.
Yeah.
A lot of that's fine, but once you get to the
Yeah,
Zords,
Zordon looks good.
I'm getting flashbacks to '95.
Mm.
That's unfortunate.
When the Zord thing has the thing
Yeah.
that I find really annoying in Pacific Rim, where it's like they're losing and they're like, wait a minute, there's a button here that says that we have a sword. That means we can win.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
And it kind of just has that at the end of this, where it's like, oh no, we're dying. Oh, we
I've
murdered.
Now-
been thinking about
Yay.
Pacific Rim a little
Sort
bit
of
with this.
in their defense, that is very Power Rangers.
Yeah,
But again, they want to make a more serious thing, so the stakes should be.
But it's weird. There's no explanation of it. Like, there's no moment before that where they're like, oh, by the way, your Zords can combine.
No, well, and I've talked about this before too, but what's really awkward about that to me, Austin, is I cannot decide, and I don't think you could explain it to me. I cannot decide if that's if that's supposed to be part of their original design, or if they're doing a dumb, sappy thing where they're saying the Rangers, now that they're so close knit, have somehow tapped into a thing that Zordon didn't even know that the Zords could do. Where
When they
like
fall onto the Zeo crystal, like maybe that also like powers them into it. I don't know.
maybe so, but it is really weird the way Rita looks up and says how. She was a ranger, and if that's a thing the Zords could always do, she'd know it.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay, so maybe it's just something that they couldn't, that no one knew they could do.
I don't
Oh.
know. Like it could just be like a power that you have to tap into with the grid. But what's weird about it is it feels like you would have to design them to do that. Because like they're combiners,
Yeah.
and you would need a specific design to make it work. Now it might also explain why it looks horrible. Where it's like no one designed it, so it just looks like a hodgepodge of crap.
But also, Goldar just looks like a gold version of the Megazord. So like
Yeah.
that feels intentional. So like, how does she not know? I don't know.
Oh, that's a really good point. I didn't think of that either. And neither of them have a face.
No.
Yeah, no, the Zord in this movie, or the Megazord in this movie, kind of sucks. Or like, actually,
It doesn't
really sucks.
kind of suck. It's awful. It's worse than anything else designed in this, and a lot of these designs are not very good. Now, I like the suits better in the context of the movie than I do apart from it. They don't make for good toys. They don't look especially great on the box. They're really overthinking the design and over-designing it. I like the universe thing, the galaxy thing in the center. I think that's a cool idea. But, people have complained a lot about how the Rangers don't have their own unique weapons and how they all just have that kind of generic sword that's, like, stuck to their hands. And I can't find, even as a Power Rangers fan, I can't find it in myself to have an opinion about that because we don't hardly get fight scenes anyway. I mean, like, they don't get to do anything with them.
Yeah, they're in it. They're there for like 20 seconds, and then they get in their tanks.
So I don't like care that much about the weapons if they're not even going to use them in the first place. Like, there's just not any fights in this movie. But I do have to look at the designs for some of these things long enough that I care what those look like. Just because I have to look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I complain about how long it takes to morph in this movie, but like I don't love the suits. Like I don't love them. I think you probably like them more than me.
I'm gonna defend them
so...
slightly. Like by 20%, I will defend them.
Well, I think that's why they're so overthought. Is that Power Ranger suits don't look good. Like they aren't gonna fit in a serious movie like this.
No, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. Like you're stuck. You're boned. Like it's an inherently campy looking suit. You have to change them completely.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna do that. So it's like, yeah, like you said, they just really overthink trying to do it.
Well,
And
all the
it's
way
like
to calling them armor now. And like if in a movie that is taking itself this seriously, they're still going to be bright colored, you have to have an explanation for that. And that's part of why it drives me nuts that we don't have any real mythology in this. Like, you have to tell me why they're all different bright colors. It doesn't make any sense. So, one thing that's really strange with this scene is a little bit later, Trini is going to reveal that Rita came and asked Trini to join her, which doesn't happen, except in the extended version of the scene where it does. And that extended version is like 25 to 30 seconds longer. I have no idea why they cut it down, because
it's basically just an extension where she asked her to join her. That's the only thing they cut.
Yeah, they had pretty much. They had, well, two things. So it's just there's a story point, but the other thing is, she tries to get in Trini's head, and this is a good character thing for her potentially. She tries to get in Trini's head and make her think that the other Rangers don't care about her. Which, of course, speaks to the kind of main crux of the movie, where it's like they have to become friends before they can be a team of superheroes. Where she says, this is in the extended scene, where she says, "Isn't it ridiculous that they don't even know your name?" She's like, "Dee Dee, really?" Like, Rita knows that's not her name. Mm-hmm. And so when at the end of that scene in the theatrical version, or the only version, but in the version without that, where she calls her Dee Dee, you think that there's this running gag where just everybody hears her name wrong and thinks she's named Dee Dee. That's not what it is. She's patronizing her. Mm. Why would you cut that? That's actually pretty good.
It's also weird that the only one that has like really oppressive parents that are like, always looming, that's the one that she like smacks up the room and they don't hear it.
Oh yeah, that's really true.
They don't come in and they're like, "Pessimist comes." What
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, which I hate that. But I was gonna say her mom should come in and sees her room all wrecked, and it's like, "Be in this come."
It should have been a running joke. Just everything she does.
But yeah, how does Rita know where she is? And that she's a ranger? Like, at least in the original series, you have the goofy device of the villains always have a telescope or something that shows them anything they want to see on the planet. She doesn't have any of that. I don't know how she knows that. But I guess it then continues on the tradition of one of the three main rules of being a Power Ranger is you can't tell anyone you're a Ranger, but it doesn't save your secret identity from the villain ever? Even this self-serious movie does that. I don't know why it does that. I wonder...
She can sense things.
I wonder if I could have been won over on the literal gold idea with Goldar if only A, the design was cool, B, Goldar got to talk and was like a character, and C, if we leaned into that as a thematic idea, where we got a little bit more of a sense of who Rita is and why she got so power hungry. Because gold is a clear symbol of greed and power. Mm-hmm. There's a thing you could do there, but we're not doing anything with it. We're just saying, gold. I don't know.
Yeah.
Love is stronger than gold.
And I also wonder if Rita has done the Goldar thing before. Because
they, like, Alpha knows about Goldar.
Zordon knows about it.
So it must be a thing. Yeah, it's like Goldar must be a thing that they know about.
Unless that's another thing that we're doing from the show where they can't decide how campy they want it to be, where Zordon just knows stuff that he can't possibly know. Because that's classic for the show. Zordon will know about monsters that have never been made. Where he's like, and this is how you beat that monster. It's like, how do you know that? Oh, because you're the exposition head.
Yeah, it must just be a thing that she has, because they're like, oh no, Rita's back. She's going to make her Goldar. And whenever we see her, she's like, I'm making my Goldar.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is,
I don't know,
how long has she been, like, departed from the team, and, like, have the other 5 Rangers, like, of the original team, just been, like, following her from planet to planet as she's, like, destroying or taking over planets? Like, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
We just don't have any context.
Maybe she could do it when she was good. Like, she's like, I made a man of gold, guys. He's our Gold Ranger. I don't know.
That's hilarious. If that's what it is. But also Zordon knows that she's after the Zeo Crystal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's definitely well, and they're fighting her at the beginning, so.
Yeah, but then is she in a full green suit at the beginning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So then
that's what I was saying. Like, she gets hit by an explosion and, like, pieces of her suit blow off.
So she's just been going around being an evil Green Ranger, trying to get. But then the question is, has she ever gotten one? Like, has she ever gotten her hands on a piece of a Zeo Crystal? And if so, why doesn't she have it now? Like, if this isn't the first time she's done it, did the Rangers just always beat her before? Maybe they've always won. Maybe she's tried this 900 times. Maybe before this, there's actually an episodic Power Rangers show in the background of this, where it's formulaic, and they constantly are stopping her from getting Zeo Crystals, and she's making monsters on every planet, and they have Megazord fights. Or just regular Zord fights, because I don't think they know what a Megazord is. That's kind of fun to think about.
And Goldar is just on planets with gold.
And then she's got to make, like you said, Austin, a staff because she doesn't have a full suit anymore, so she doesn't have that weird lack of belt where a belt should be to put her power coin. Because that's a weird thing in this design, where it's like there's not a belt, but there's a belt, but there's a coin holder where a belt goes.
Here's the thing, they're on a boat.
So they can keep their coins if they have to take the bus.
They're on a boat. She should just, like, give him some fish, and then he'll be like, and then he'll tell.
Yeah, yes, that's a great point. I wish they had done. I'll explain this to Austin in a second. I wish, because Austin has no idea what we're talking about. I wish they had done more. But again, they only watched the pilot, probably.
Yeah, because
so
Trini's also not afraid of heights at all in this movie.
Give these characters any of their character traits.
Yeah.
From the original series. Let Trini have a thing where she's afraid of heights, and there's like, you could stretch, and I don't think it's intentional, you could stretch a nod to it in that Kimberly has to grab her and force her to go down because she might not have done that herself, but it's not because she knows she's afraid of heights. And then Billy has this weird fear of fish.
In the show, yeah.
There's this hilarious flashback where a fish bit him, and how he's scared of fish.
I forgot that's what it was.
And he dies here on a boat surrounded by fish?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that. That's fantastic.
Say that again.
Reference.
That's great. And then if they did the sequel and you had Tommy, you could have done something with his, you know what I'm going to say.
Where he's horrible at sports.
No, where he can't do any sport besides martial arts.
Yeah.
No, not that. I was going to say
okay.
Where he has no concept of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like really disorganized. They do 2 different episodes where he has this prevailing negative character trait that never comes up again, where he's just like perfectly cured of it by the end of the episode. One of them is he tries to play football, but he can't do anything physically but karate, so every time he tries to do football things, he just goes into a karate stance,
and he just starts like kicking.
It's so funny. And then there's another episode where he just has no concept of time, and he's overextended himself. Never comes up again. So now Billy's dead.
God,
Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
This
This is a fake out thing that I always hate in movies. Now, at least it's not exactly a fake out.
They didn't bury him under a couple of rocks like Kirk. Thank God they at least brought him with
That's
them.
awesome. At least where the birds can get at him. But I will give them, at least this isn't that like third act fake out death thing where it's like, oh no, maybe he's dead, and then we have like a big pause and then he coughs for a minute, no, he's okay. Like at least he's actually dead and there's gonna be a thing to bring him back. We're playing this very much.
We at least kind of set up with the Zordon thing, because Zordon is dead, but like he's in the wall, so like there's a kind of setup for it with that.
That's a good point.
I guess I at least like that it is a way for him to be like, okay, no, I have to be selfless, just as they're learning to be.
It's real contrived, but narratively it at least kind of comes together.
Yeah. It's definitely contrived and like almost upfront about it when Rita's like, I could kill all of you, but I'm only gonna kill one, I guess. Bye.
I'm gonna be really sadistic and kill the one that told me what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Also, how lazy is it to have a character, just because he's a genius, to have a character that has a conspiracy wall? It's like one thing leads to this other thing, leads to this other thing, equals I know where the Zeo crystal is, and we're given literally none of it. Like, we have zero idea whatsoever about what the detective work was, like what leads to what. It's just, he's got strings! Now he knows where it is!
Hey, it's better than an Amazing 2 where we have to watch a full music video of Peter Parker like putting strings and pins on things, and then 2 scenes later he's like, this is dumb, and he rips it all down.
So are you actually saying this is better than either of the Amazing movies?
Dude.
Probably.
What?
It's not.
It's not even better.
It's just
Dude,
kind of
Amazing
okay.
2 is better than this.
It's definitely better than 2.
Amazing 2 is one of the worst superhero films ever made. There's no way that this movie is better or worse than that.
I think
I don't even really like this movie. It's fine.
So
But it's better than Amazing 2.
Again, this works okay. That this would be the moment where they kind of devote themselves to each other and they're willing to sacrifice, like they've. It's kind of the responsibility thing where like it wakes them up, and so like I like that okay. What I kind of wish they had done instead is use that as an opportunity to get some action stuff in first. So like now they can morph, and there's only 4 of them, and they wish there was another one. but now they can like go try to fight Rita, and then you could structure it such that they do a battle on their own, and they do like the typical Power Rangers thing where 4 is not enough. They need a 5th, and then finally come back and then do this scene where they realize, oh, we actually have the power to either bring Billy back or bring Zordon back. What's going to happen? But couldn't you have gotten a Ranger fight in between?
That's one of the really awkward things about structure, and like that's why you have to have they have like hologram putties for them to fight, so we can have any action before this. But yeah, you easily could have worked out something to have some of that stuff in it earlier. I mean, it changes the whole morphing thing, but like you could have had something.
Well, see, I don't even think it changes the story all that much because they would be able to morph for the same reason. It's like because this happened to Billy, we're now devoted to each other, and we would be willing to sacrifice each other or ourselves for each other, I should say. And then they're able to morph. Because the problem with it is, it's like well. I guess they set that up earlier, though, that, like, as soon as they can all morph, there would be enough power to bring Zordon out of the wall. So I guess it would have to happen right then. I don't know. I wish there was a way to get a Ranger fight in there. And not just because there's not enough action, but also because then there would be more weight to Billy's death. If we could keep him dead a little longer. If you have to do that, like, let it matter longer. Because part of what's annoying about it is that it's that typical, he's dead for 5 minutes and he's back right away thing.
Yeah, and it's like, I like the way the actors play it, just because, like, we keep saying, I think they have really good chemistry.
They're just great,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, like, it kind of is all on their backs.
But you could have truncated it as, like, a little, like, Wrath of Khan to Search for Spock kind of story.
Yeah, so the reason that they didn't morph before was because they didn't say that.
If only they had thought to say that.
Uh-huh. I don't know why you said it there.
I also don't know why... I have T-shirt questions about this movie. All the T-shirts are very perplexing to me. Like,
I agree.
I don't know why.
about that.
I don't know why Trini has a shirt that says 1973.
Because 1973, Cap, remember?
None of them seem thematically relevant. Like,
That's the
that's
year
definitely not her
Cap,
birth
that's the
year.
year Power Rangers started.
It's not,
It's
though.
not. No, that's 69. Right?
Yeah, it's 1973.
Oh, right. Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the comics, didn't they have the 60s?
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, what is the joke here?
I couldn't remember what the year was.
No, it's 69, I think.
Yeah, 69,
was supposed to be Zordon's original team. And that's what I was going to say is there's retroactively what happens with Zordon getting his team killed reminds me a little bit of what we do with Grace Sterling and all of that on the moon in the comics. Anyway, the money shot where they're walking at the camera and all of that obviously was kind of trailer fodder. This is the one part of the score that I really, really like, and I wish the whole soundtrack sounded like that. When they get to the kind of electronica stuff, I'm like, that's what this movie should sound like.
That's what it.
Yeah, the score of this just has like a generic Stranger Things sound.
Well,
Like,
because
it does
like,
until
came out
then. And then, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like he's on to something there.
I mean, even that's kind of got the kind of Stranger Things kind of sound, where like it's going for like the 80s synth.
Well, but here's
sound,
the thing, though. I feel like the
but it
Mighty
fits the
Morphin was
alien
very-
stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mighty Morphin was very much that 90s rock sound, and then, you have that 2010s going back to the 80s electronic sound that, I feel like that's just, like, the most logical step to take, and I feel like that makes sense for the entire... Also, I hate the putty design so much. Like, I don't like it.
It is kind of weird that when we first see the Rangers fight, it's underwater.
Yeah.
It's just such a strange choice. I can't think of a single Power Rangers battle in water.
Me neither.
In the show, I don't think it ever happened.
The money to have people fight underwater, Cap.
And then, okay, so this was my total shift question, Austin.
Dude, that looked like a PS4 game.
Immediately when they get their suits, they come up on the surface, and it's a lot brighter. Like, we lose the Man of Steel tint as much, and the colors of the suits are able to pop, and you got a real blue sky, and I just wonder if you could have gotten away with an even lighter, sillier tone than they go to with this third act. Like, they sort of do that. But also, I wonder if you've done it earlier. Like, if midway through the movie you do that, and then the rest of the movie is like that.
You have to do it, earlier.
Because also, this all feels a little bit obligatory. It's like, oh, now it's a Power Rangers episode. Oh, okay.
Remember Make My Monster Grow?
And so instead of an interesting tonal shift, it just turns into a different movie? Kind of?
Remember Power Rangers?
It's like we took footage from another movie and slapped it in here.
The footage from what?
But that wouldn't make sense. It's like we took footage from another movie and slapped it in here, but that wouldn't make sense for Power Rangers.
Well, if it's deliberate, and I hate everybody does, but like the helmet opening, so the characters have FaceTime.
It's so bad.
And the reason it's annoying is because we finally got them in costume. And immediately we open the helmets. What is even the point of having helmets? Like, you guys are supposed to have secret identities. Immediately you're going to open your helmets. It's the second rule. Did you pay no attention to what Zordon said? Or the third rule? And then Alpha actually says, go Power Rangers. Okay. And then this I was embarrassed for in the theater and was laughing out loud. And I hear a lot of Ranger fans apologize for this, and I don't understand it. There's a lot of this thing is bad, this thing is bad, this thing is bad. But man, when they play the Power Rangers theme, and I'm like, no, sorry, no.
It doesn't fit the movie they made. Like, it's super cringy.
More than that, it's lazy as hell because it's the version from the '95 movie. What? Why? Like, even if it had just been the original Wasserman song, it wouldn't feel as bizarre. Like, you went back to the '95 version?
Because it's a movie.
Isn't it also interesting that we've had 3 Power Rangers movies and none of them are in continuity?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Turbo was.
No, Turbo
what am I
was.
talking about? Turbo was.
And shoot down Kimberly here.
This should have had a pirate ship.
Okay, well, that's what this has in common with '95, is we do a reboot and it's not in continuity, just like '95. And then adding insult to injury is this kind of music right after the Power Rangers theme.
Yeah, the Kanye song.
Like, stop it.
It's rough.
That's stuff that you do in trailers to sell it to a certain audience. You don't put it in the movie.
I think, wasn't this in the trailer too?
I think it was.
I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah. I only remember the teaser where there's no Power Ranger stuff until the end. They like do the half morph.
And see,
I only remember that because I went to see a movie. I think it was Civil War, and they played the trailer for this, like that teaser. And my sister was like, "Oh man, this movie looks great. What is the? Oh, it's Power Rangers."
You told me the story.
Yeah.
When Jayson calls that car Bumblebee, it's like they're just admitting how much they're thinking about Bay Transformers in the scene.
But we do that. We do that both with this and the Ninja Turtles movie from 2014. Or no, I guess it's the sequel that does Bumblebee.
Oh, wait, is it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, where Michelangelo's like, "Yo, Bumblebee, what's up, man?" And then they like high five or whatever.
So, to a point you made earlier, I think there's a good chance that the sequel, had it been made, would have kind of done the Sonic 2 thing.
Yeah.
Where this first movie has only got a couple of major Power Rangers. I mean, like all the basics are there, of course, so it's more Power Rangers than Sonic 1 is Sonic.
Yeah,
certainly.
definitely.
So like, I do have to give it credit for that it's not trying that hard to have nothing to do with Power Rangers. It just is trying really hard to appeal to different audiences, and it's trying to make everybody happy, so it makes nobody happy. I actually have more respect for this approach than I do the Sonic 1 approach. Like, absolutely. But I think the second Power Rangers movie might have had the Sonic 2 thing, where it then opens up to a lot more mythology stuff. So this is only looking at the pilot, and then the second movie probably would have looked at, like, seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. And
There's
then there would have been a
it
wedding,
also
right?
would have been...
They could have done the Zed and Rita wedding. They could have done ninja powers. Like, I could have seen them doing kind of all of that in one movie, but maybe, I don't know.
It probably would have been the, like, TMNT to Into Shadows, where it's like we just go, like, full campy.
I had that thought, too.
I'm guessing.
And that could have been awful just because of the way they started. Like, I don't even know if you could have gotten away with it. I don't think this is unsalvageable, but you have to find a way to crack that code of how do you mesh the tones. So, the kind of thread with his dad, I really want to work, and I don't think it does, because he thinks that his kid is wayward and lost, and again, maybe wants to kind of live vicariously through him, but also just wants his kid to, like, make something of himself, right? And then the sense you get in the last scene with him when he cuts out the newspaper clipping and puts it on the fridge is that somehow he knows that Jayson has made it and is doing something with his life, but there's no hint looking at that Red Ranger suit that he's looking at his kid. How would he know? There's no hint. How would he ever know that that's Jayson? So
does he know? Does he have an idea? Because he says his name, which is not what you would do, like, for your dad. But, like, is that maybe like a giveaway where he's like, "Oh, the Red Ranger knows who I am"?
Does he actually say his first name?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, when he reaches out to him, he's like, he calls him by his first name.
Okay, I rescind that criticism. I think that might work. Okay. I think that's maybe enough, because I don't know if you agree with this. I think they're clearly having that actor in his close-up give a face of recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it could be.
That's pretty easy.
See, I like that. Yeah, it is. I like that they allowed these suits to be as bright as they are, but then why over-design them like that? Like, I really... I
think it's just overthinking, because how do you make, like, a serious Power Ranger suit? Like, I think it's just that. They were like,
No, what you do is you make it look as campy as it always did, and then you let all the characters, like, sell it. So everybody in universe thinks it looks great, and then we know how campy it is. I want it to take the page from... You won't know what I'm talking about, Austin, but in Season 4 Enterprise, they do a Mirror Universe episode, and
it's awesome.
They go to the... they rebuild the TOS set, and they get a ship from our universe in the Mirror Universe, and they treat the campy sets like the most advanced technology they've ever seen. And they're like, oh my god, we got to get our hands on this incredible advanced technology. And it's great. Like, they just sell it. And it's ridiculous and absurd. And it totally works because of the way they sell it. You could totally do that with this.
Yeah, and I think you're making a different movie at that point. But, yeah, maybe.
Well, no, you are. That's the problem, is I don't think you can... We're going around in circles, but I completely agree with you. Like, the movie they want to make, I don't think can have those suits, but these don't work either, so what do you do?
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. That's why everything doesn't have to have the dark and gritty reboot. And we've seen lots and lots of examples of the more sophisticated version of the thing it always was. Like Skybound Transformers is a really good example of that. Like we keep talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess like a little different in that you kind of have that starting place with like the Marvel comics with that.
What do you
And
mean?
like those designs are easier to do in like a more serious thing. So like there is like a more serious starting place with that. That's not the '80s cartoon because the comics come first.
Yeah, that's fair. I've never read that stuff, so I don't know what that is, what that's like tonally. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark. Like, yeah.
But there's also some
I mean,
inherent
it's like classic
absurdity
Marvel.
in that concept, and that's been able to get away with really dark stories.
Mhm.
And so has Power Rangers at this point, but in comic form. Like, I don't know how well that translates with the spandex suits and all that, if you're trying to do it in live action. So, I mean,
Yeah, which
you
is
and I
why
are
we're just
both talking about material that the other person has not looked at. Like, I know how this can work more dark and brooding. I don't know if it can work in live action.
Well, that's why I think like I just don't know that Power Rangers works dark. Like, which is why I think you just own up to the campiness.
But that's what I'm saying is,
Like,
I know it does because I've read it.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah.
But like, but my point is, there's a lot of people that have never read like darker Transformers comics that would make the same case. They go, I don't see how that could work, and you would go, well, I've read it.
Mhm. Yeah, but I mean, not everything's G1. Like, I don't know. It's a little different. Like, I do think they are on like a little bit of a different scale, and that's not just I'm a Transformers fan versus not a Power Rangers fan. Like, I do think there is more of an inherent darkness you can bring to Transformers than there is in Power Rangers. But I don't know. I think you just. Own
I don't know
up to
how
what
you
it
could
is,
know
and, like,
without having read something to try to get one over on it, but
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But yeah.
I'm just saying, if I had never read Dark Transformers stuff, I would also think the same thing about that.
Hmm.
And like, I'm not Braden because I don't think he would like that stuff, but I hate the Mama Zord line. It's irritating. Stop it. See, I don't know what she means. How?
Dude.
This Megazord design is so dumb.
Oh man, I forgot about the Rangers in the.
Yeah, that's really silly.
See, and now in the score, he's combining them. He's like combining the electronics.
Oh, because he brings that theme back
Yeah,
that they've got when they're coming at the camera. Yeah. And it's also weird that there's so much of an emphasis on we've all got to come together and be there for each other, and then your Megazord design is they're all disconnected. Like, you're not going to have them all in a cockpit in the center? Especially when that's your theme?
That's why I think it's they're each like the limb, but yeah, like you could have done that in like a control room.
You can still, yeah. I mean, that's that's still sort of what it is in the show. I don't know if they're literally controlling like Billy's got a leg, and I don't know if it's that, but they're also always really ambiguous about it. They're just pushing buttons. Like, I don't know.
No, I wish this movie had the one where, you know, they're like standing up and then they like, you know. I'm trying to remember what. Does Dino Thunder do that?
What's that?
Where like they're all standing up and they just like move along with it, and then it like, and then the Zord. I think there are a couple of names about seasons that do it, and it's really stupid.
This is that kind of paint by numbers setup and payoff.
Yeah.
And then we're, oh, this is the one maneuver we saw them learn in the pit, so now they're gonna use it.
Yep, pretty much.
Reminds me of a little movie.
But now, we didn't set up these swords, though, so it's...
No, I'm with you. That's really silly.
Reminds me of CPR.
And they look dumb.
We are about to get to
not
one
that!
of the only good Power Rangers.
I'm getting a little tired.
Backhander into space.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Austin?
I said we are about to get to one of the only good Power Rangers things in this movie, which is when they backhander into space.
That's pretty great. And yeah, her performance is all right. And Elizabeth Banks is a solid pick. I mean, that's in that tradition of go for a name people have heard of for your villain.
Is that like a thing in the series?
No, it's just a thing in superhero movies, you know? Like,
oh, sorry, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I thought you were saying that's like a Power Rangers tradition.
It's
sorry,
not.
I get what you're saying, no.
It's not, but I like that in the tradition of superhero
yeah.
movies.
No, I find this reader to be friggin' irritating, but I don't know.
Well, and I've liked Elizabeth Banks in things. Don't get me wrong, she as a person has irritated me in the past with her whole speech about how men don't want to see women in action movies, and that's why her one directed action movie didn't perform. That's annoying.
And it had Kimberly in it.
I like her as a game show.
Oh, was she in that? I didn't know that. Yes, and Elizabeth
Charlie's
Banks.
Angels.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels. And Elizabeth Banks also happens to be one of the greatest game show hosts of all time.
Yeah.
Because she did the New Press Your Luck, and she's really, really good in that. I happen to like game shows. But yeah, Austin, I didn't mean to unnecessarily argue with you earlier about the Transformers thing. Like, I think you're right that there is a difference between them, that Power Rangers is inherently campier. You're not wrong about that. I'm just saying I've read, like, darker Power Ranger stories done well, but it's that thing where, like, you're starting from a goofy place, but, like, it gets intense.
Wow,
Like,
Amy Jo Johnson needs to learn how to use a phone.
Even in some of the series, we've gone to those places. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you've still got silly stuff like all of your characters saying, like, rehearsed lines all at the same time, and posing with explosions behind them, and all of that stuff.
All the action is pulled from, like, a Japanese show, where you have, like, all the explosions and, like, silliness and the... like the sparks that shoot off when they hit each other, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the world you're in. That's just what happens.
Okay, so they can't
own it.
They can't teleport in this movie, so they have to go underwater every single time they have to go to the command center.
They can, like, maybe teleport when they wake up. And then they respawn back to their homes. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've always complained about that, but that is really... It feels like there's a scene missing, and then they try to, like, fix it. They try to mask it by having some dialogue about it, where they're like, I don't know where I went. And there's even a deleted scene that talks about it more, where it's like, I have no idea how we got back home. But the problem is, we don't then reinforce it later by telling us how the powers got them there. And yeah, baked into Power Rangers is teleportation, but they never do it.
I think it's just they wanted that moment where they all wake up and they're like, "Whoa, like I'm different now." Is I think basically all it is.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So it's just kind of clunky.
But it's so awkward. Yeah, clunky is the right word. It's so awkward. So your point, Austin, is not, like don't make campy things. It's if it's inherently campy, don't like try to skirt around it. Just let it be that. Like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's what I have with Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man also didn't work doing this like darker version. Like, you're trying to fit a circle into the square hole, and it's like, just make it what it is. That's not to say that you can't like elevate it, but like, don't Batman Begins Power Rangers? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the clarification, because I mean, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it has to be like vapid, but it's not what it is. Like, you're inherently making it something else, and at that point, what is the point of making it?
No, and you could let the characters have as much dimension as they have in this, but I think it would have to, the tone would have to be different.
This movie needs to be post-Guardians when instead it's post-Man of Steel.
That's perfect.
And it's
yeah,
like,
and it's irritating because
like,
they've got that precedent. This comes out in 2017. They could have been inspired more by Guardians.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know if this had production issues, because I also feel like this is a movie that kind of screams development hell. But
it does, yeah. It kind of was in development hell for a while, and you can, we're talking about how they're trying to please everybody, and that's not working. We're like, they're trying to be accessible to all these different audiences. But part of why it feels like that is because this is a hodgepodge of several different scripts they couldn't land on, and like you can see it. It's pretty clear that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
It also feels very 2012 to me, and not like it feels like it should have come out around like the first Planet of the Apes and 2014 Godzilla, and I feel like it feels a little late. I don't know.
It's like the last gasp of like that kind of feeling blockbuster.
There was also
Bueller.
Yeah, we get it. I meant to say this earlier, but I do I think it's fun that the only Ranger that introduces himself to Zordon with his last name is Billy, because Bryan Cranston is playing Zordon. I do really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That's kind of nice. Because Billy Cranston was actually named after Bryan Cranston. Because Cranston was one of his earliest roles was voicing monsters in Power Rangers. He was Snizzard, and he was somebody else. And
he was Snizzard?
I knew that. I didn't
he was Snizzard.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Which is funny because then when they did Once and Always and they brought Snizzard back, they couldn't get Bryan Cranston to voice Snizzard.
Yeah.
So like that monster came back.
Snizzard.
Yeah, you remember?
Rocky calls him Snizzard.
I'm so glad that we got one more opportunity to watch Steve Cardenas act.
Yeah, so that he could say.
Snizzard. It's fantastic.
I don't know if you caught it, but Goldar technically has a voice actor.
Ow! Now I'm turning into Rita. Ow!
It's Fred Tatasciore, however you pronounce his last name. I'm not sure. The guy he plays the Hulk in a lot of things. He was credited as Goldar / Putties. So it's probably they just brought him in and they were like, do like noises.
Grunt a
Noises.
lot.
And that's probably
Dude,
in the background.
from now on, you'll never see that credit again. That will be AI forevermore. There's no reason to hire a voice actor to do that now.
That's scary.
No, I know, I hate it, but you know I'm right.
Yeah. Same with like the animal noises.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to have
I mean,
a
to be
Frank
fair,
Welker in the future.
When Frank Welker dies, what are you gonna do with all the animals?
He should have opened a school and taught people how to do that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then it turns out that just no one else in history has ever been capable of doing that except for Frank Welker. He's the only person capable of it. He was built in a laboratory to do that job, and nobody else can do
That's
it.
true. They're already working on the Frank Welker AI just for Scooby-Doo.
There's a bunch of other things I wanted to bring up. So the Tommy thing is just the most obligatory thing you could possibly do. It's just like the after credits with the Ghostbusters 2016 with the Gozer thing. Oh, that one's weird because it's Zool, and I'll never understand that. Like why they did that.
Yeah.
But it's like you go to the obvious thing. It was annoying with Sonic 1 that you got Tails. Oh my God, it's Tails! Like, you didn't think that was going to happen? Like, really? But with this, it's like, Tommy is around, and we don't get any.
He exists.
Yeah, we don't get any.
That's great.
You'd think that with that close up on his jacket, we'd get like one thing that concretely reminded you of that character. I don't know what that would be, but it's just a green jacket. That's it. That's all you get.
And it doesn't make any sense because it's a baseball jacket, and that's not.
Well, and we know there's
thing.
no chance he could play baseball.
Yeah, that's not really a
Like,
Tommy
there's-
thing. Like,
there's that.
He doesn't wear that kind of jacket.
But the other thing that would have been really odd about that retroactively, possibly, is there was a lot of talk. I don't know how much of this was rumor mill, but there was a lot of talk that in the sequel they were thinking about gender flipping it and having a female Tommy Oliver.
That, yeah.
Which means that you would have spelled it differently, and it would have been probably Tomi, I imagine, and which I don't think fans would have accepted, but whatever. And that would have looked pandery and stuff. But anyway, it would have meant that the subtitles in this movie were retroactively wrong.
Yeah.
Because they spell it.
But also, I don't know
right.
why he says it like 1,000 times. He's Tommy Oliver.
They're doing the Ferris Bueller because the rest of this movie's going for Breakfast Club, so that's the like Bueller.
Yeah, you just don't know about that movie. That's why he kept saying that.
Yeah,
that's what. No, that is exactly what that. And also, that's an after credits.
That's what they're doing.
Or sorry, the Bueller thing's not, but we've made fun of that and other thing. Like Deadpool went to that with its after credits. Went to that movie, I believe.
Yeah, they do a parody of the Ferris Bueller after credits scene.
Yeah, that's what that was. I just don't think and this really speaks to Austin's point earlier about how Power Rangers is just kind of inherently at its core a campy thing. And about how we're trying to appeal to too many different audiences with this. Their approach is, well, it's striking. It's in their mind striking while the iron's hot, but already too late. But even if it was earlier, this still would have been a problem. Where it's like, we got to get on that Marvel bandwagon, and we got to try to make it.
Yes.
Even though the approach is a little bit more Man of Steel, it's like we got to try to get a new audience for this. And the problem is, you have to sell Power Rangers as Power Rangers, and then make it for the fan base. And then, if it's really solid, you might get new viewers by word of mouth, who are people that just never discovered Power Rangers, but would maybe like that thing if only it was a little bit smarter in its storytelling. The way to do it is not to turn it into another thing. And so you can't make Power Rangers a different thing that audiences want, but because the problem is you still called it Power Rangers. So there's not a thing you can
Yeah.
do to bring that audience to it.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I guess I can understand why, like, a studio exec was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, you
Yes.
got to make it Marvel because Marvel is the thing." But at the same time, like, I agree. Like, no, you got to make it what it is.
And I think they got off on the wrong foot with people in the first place, just in not having anything in the title besides Power Rangers. It's weird how that doesn't stand alone. Even if you think Mighty Morphin sounds too campy, Power Rangers by itself sounds really generic.
Well, it reminds me of
Yeah.
the 2014 Ninja Turtles.
That-
And
that
obviously
was
we did
the-
add
that was the next
Teenage
point I was
Mutant, yeah.
gonna make, is
Yeah,
that
but-
originally that movie was gonna just be called Ninja Turtles, and then they compromised
Yeah.
by having Teenage Mutant in real little letters above it, and so I've always called that movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They should have compromised
If
by
I Did
putting
It.
an asterisk on Ninja Turtle.
I'm sorry, what was that, Austin?
No,
He
he said
just-
they should have
He
compromised.
just made an O.J. Simpson reference. Did you?
Oh, I completely missed that. No.
He said it's like the book If I Did It.
It is, it's true.
He put the if super tiny, and then it looks like the book is just called I Did It. It's exactly the same thing.
That's beautiful.
I can't believe you said that. That's so good.
That's awesome.
I'm
I just said that
I'm so glad
they should
you
have
came
made
to.
the title Ninja Turtles asterisk. So we both went to like a title joke, but yours was way better.
And then and then you have a big reveal at the end where one of the Ninja Turtles calls themselves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh man, that's our name.
They have a press conference where they explain to everyone that their names are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, it's even better. It just says Ninja Turtles asterisk, and then it rips off and it just says Teenage Mutant.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to Patreon reviews, and we'll see what you guys think of this
Yes.
movie. Austin, if you'll look at Discord as always, I'm gonna refresh Patreon because I only had. Well, I've got 2 on Patreon.
I think I got a couple. Let's see. Yeah, I got 5.
Oh wow. Okay, you start then.
Okay, from Abic Stark, he says, "Truly a forgettable movie. I don't know much about Power Rangers. I didn't watch it growing up, but as a primer on the series, it misses the mark and doesn't do anything to interest anyone new to the series. Rating villain."
Well, and to be fair, I've always said this, and this is also, I'm going to throw you a bone here, Austin, a big difference between Power Rangers and Transformers, because I didn't grow up with Transformers, and I've been able to, as an adult, find a way into that. I'm not a mega fan, but I like Transformers now. I don't think it's possible with Power Rangers. I don't think if you didn't grow up with that, I don't think there's an in. Like I've had people, even with serious comics and stuff. I don't think. I think you have to. There's a nostalgic element that you have to have. Or
Yeah, I agree.
You have to crave a more serious version of the silly thing that you grew up with, and if you didn't grow up with it, you're not going to crave that. And I don't think it works without that. So there's still a part of me that wants to make this video, but it would be so pointless after what I just said. There's a guy that keeps trying to get. I'm getting off the beaten path, but I'll say this real quick. There's a guy that's been lately trying to get me to make a Power Rangers version of the stream I did a couple of years ago, where I gave people a bunch of strategies depending on their interests of how to get into Star Trek. And this guy's like, that would be great to do for Power Rangers. And I'm like, I kind of want to make that video, but unless I'm talking to children, I don't know what the point is.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, because even me, like, I love giant monster stuff. I love superhero stuff. Put it together in Power Rangers, and I didn't grow up with it. Like, I don't have that interest in it. But yeah,
And I've always said I don't think I could get into it now if I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want me to read another one? Because I got four more?
Yeah,
And we
please
only got
do.
two, or okay. Serial When Pigs Fly. He says Power Rangers is a very strange movie to me. It's not great, but I always have a fun time every time I decide to pop it on. Maybe it's because the characters are surprisingly compelling, or I just watched it at the right age and at the exact right moment in my life. The Krispy Kreme thing will never not be funny. Rating hero.
See, I like that too. And people always give it crap for being the like most blatant example of obnoxious product placement. And this is one of those things where like it's fair because it watches like that, but I know that's not what happened, so it doesn't bother me as much. Where like that was
What I always
not
thought worked is
it was not actually a product placement thing. It was they were just trying to come up with where should the Zeo Crystal be, and like it would be funny if it was like some random real store and they went with Krispy Kreme, and then retroactively
just like a quirky kind of joke.
yeah, and then retroactively they got them on board, and then they did a product thing, but it wasn't like Dunkin' Donuts with Ghostbusters. Like it wasn't any of that.
Well, do we even see the outside of the
think what-
Krispy Kreme?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, they show the sign and everything. Like it does look like a big commercial for it, but that's a joke. They're not doing it to sell it. Like retroactively, they kind of were, but it makes sense you would go to them after you decided to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the original motivation behind it.
No, I mean I think that's amusing because, like, and obviously not knowing that, like, it feels like they just had, this product placement, and they went, like, let's just go over the top with it and like make
Yeah.
it like silly like that, like the Burger King thing and Iron Man, or like I like the Walmart bit and Looney Tunes Back in Action where they're like, "Oh man, we're stuck in the desert. Thankfully, Walmart was here and gave us nice refreshments at Walmart. We would have died if not for this Walmart being here." So
The-
I don't know. There's like a certain place where you can like blast so past being like annoying product placement that I think it can become amusing.
Yeah, I think it's that thing that people have kind of conditioned themselves to do, where they immediately cringe if they see any product placement, and they won't look at it case by case. Where they go, "That's wrong. You're not supposed to do that." Why? I don't know. It's irritating. It's too commercial. You can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, but like, are there exceptions? Like the best example of this of all time is Demolition Man with Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like, it's freaking brilliant.
I was gonna say with Wayne's World, but yeah, that's another good one too.
That's good too. Was it Taco Bell that was Guardians 2? I can't remember now. There's the
No, it's Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. That's what it was. That's a good one.
Well, my favorite one in Guardians isn't Dairy Queen. It's that they had a like an SUV tie-in for that movie, and there's just one shot where you cut back to that thing like pushing forward, and it's just like pushing that SUV along. And that's
I
the
didn't
spot where you get
know.
the cameo with Star-Lord's dad. But yeah, and if you don't know that was like a tie-in vehicle, you wouldn't know watching it now. Like,
Yeah, I
it just
didn't know
feels like,
that.
oh, it was pushing a car along. But because I remember seeing commercials for it where it's like, oh, the official car of Guardians 2. And I was like, that's hilarious because you can't get it in the actual movie.
Now,
And there it was.
I will give Ranger fans, I guess, the benefit of the doubt with this, because I have heard some people say that are big into this franchise that it takes them out because Power Rangers has never done that before, where it's like the shows didn't really reference a lot of real life stuff. They had their own stand-ins for everything. Like even NASA doesn't exist in the Power Rangers universe. It's called Nasada. Like everything is different. And so like that's fair, I guess. But this is already removed enough that it's like on the one hand, it doesn't take me out as much because it feels so different. But I'm talking out of both sides of my face because on the other hand, it's the most Power Rangers feeling thing in the movie to me, just because it's so absurd.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. And I mean, like, it is like a big budget adaptation thing. Like, things are going to be different like that. I don't know. It's not always going to play to every rule like that.
I even went and bought the donuts. I did that. Daniel,
Were they different flavors for each color, or were they just all just
no, they
thought they
donuts
were.
with?
maybe they were. I thought
They
they
were-
just had
'cause they
different
were-
colored frosting. I don't know.
No, because they were filled.
Were they filled?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like. By the way, how's this
I
movie
guess that
almost
makes
10
sense
years
because
old?
they were whole. Yeah.
They
That's
were
crazy.
whole. You're right, because they had a lightning bolt in the middle. I cannot believe
Yeah.
this movie is almost a decade old already.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Daniel Davis, it's a very frustrating film, an attempt at a darker reboot that doesn't do a great job at meshing the coming-of-age teen aspect with the Power Rangers elements very well. It's not that I hate this movie. I like some of the character arcs, and the performances were good. As a person on the spectrum, Billy is one of the less egregious portrayals of autism from the 2010s. It's just that the film could have been a whole lot more consistent, very light hero. I agree with all that.
Yeah, that makes sense. From Connor Nielsen, he says Naomi Scott is super hot, rating villain.
Agreed? And she's good. Like Justin Hayes, a modicum lifeless and a tad bit typical for the era in which it was made. But I still agree with Jason's point that it actually even feels outdated at that point. Like it's more of a product of a few years earlier.
Yeah, and Pacific Rim is another example.
He says, I still
Yeah,
found...
that's 2013.
Yeah.
Wow, was that early? He says, I still found enough enjoyment to be had here that it could have been salvaged in a sequel. I agree with that. That said, it's not what I'm looking for when I want Power Rangers, and it does nothing to better its source material by very much. It exists, and that's fine. I'm rating it a sidekick. That's not even on the scale. Like, Austin's the sidekick. Are you on the scale now? Austin's on the
I am
spectrum.
on the spectrum. It's
Wait,
true.
what's in the middle of the thing?
The middle of the thing is hero, not sidekick.
Hero.
So I guess we'll
Hero,
say
superhero, legend?
he's saying, yeah, hero, superhero, legend, and then under that is villain and nemesis.
Ah, I see.
It's a 5-part.
Sidekick.
From Subject 879, aka John, he says, this movie gets worse every time I watch it. The cast was great, and they're doing the best they can. I just wish it wanted to be a Power Rangers movie. Rating villain. I think John also has a thing where for every time he's seen this film, he has to see Turbo 10 times.
What is
And
it
it's
with
like a
John
real
Turbo? Good Lord. When we finally do Turbo on this show, we'll have to bring John on, and then Austin will probably just not show up.
Yeah, it would replace me for that episode.
I see that happening. Sorry, I have a suggestion. This is a somewhat snarky suggestion, but could the movie have gotten away more with the self-seriousness and not really wanting to be a Power Rangers movie if it had taken Power Rangers out of the title entirely, done the CW thing, and just called itself Angel Grove or some crap like that?
No.
I think it would just make it cringier.
Oh yeah, it would have been awful.
How is that not a show though? How is there not a CW version?
That was it. We just watched it.
No, we didn't.
The teenager stuff is way above.
That's what I was going to say.
true.
The CW would not have handled that stuff that well.
No, especially the Spectrum stuff with Billy, if that's the take they go with.
The other thing that they're like, yeah, because they would have been a lot more pandery about that stuff, and they would have said Spectrum every 5 seconds, too. Like,
and they would have just made him the quirky guy.
Well, that
would have been embarrassing.
That, and they would have done a lot of drama around it, where they would have had a ton of like people like being like really a lot more like mean to him about it and that kind of thing. It would have been a lot of like social commentary about bigotry against people with conditions like that. Where they just played him as endearing in this, where like he just overcomes it and like uses it as like uses what he gets from it to enhance the team.
That
right?
actor
like,
also plays it really well.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. And that's the thing is, everybody wants to be that guy's friend. Like you watch that movie, and we all want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
That and what's his face? The original Green Ranger would have he would have been the Green Ranger still, and he would have been the Red Ranger's dad, and he would have been Zordon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you think you would have had Jason David Frank come in and he would just been everybody?
Yeah, like the original Flash.
Oh, if it was CW. Sorry. Now I'm with you. That's
Yeah,
hilarious. I thought you meant a
yeah.
sequel. No, that's exactly what would have
Oh no, no,
happened.
no, no, no! In the CW version, no, he would have been Red Ranger's dad, Zordon, and still the Green
He's
Ranger.
still on this joke. You gotta keep up.
I forgot to say this during the commentary, but I'll just make this point real briefly. Because I alluded to Star Trek '09, and there's a lot of things in this movie that remind me of that. That is a movie I think they're looking at pretty hard, along with some of the other things that we mentioned, your Transformers and Chronicles and a number of other things. But particularly with the Jayson casting, he's got real Chris Pine energy. And even
Sure, yeah.
and even in his characterization and the way he's kind of lashing out, where he's a natural born leader, but he is kind of wayward and having a hard time finding his place. That's exactly how we play Kirk in '09. Like, when there's a scene early on with where he's arguing with Zordon that reminds me a little bit of the scene with Pike when Kirk's like, "Why are you talking to me, man?" It's got that whole thing.
Man,
Yeah, I
man,
hadn't
it's
thought
like
to compare them,
the
but
most
like
boring
I
thing.
see exactly where you're coming from.
It's a real similar performance.
No, that's an actor I like quite a bit. Like even in other things.
I don't think I've seen him in anything else.
Star
like he's-
Trek, the Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't think he's done.
Star Trek, the Star Trek, Power Rangers, the Power Rangers.
He'll get to be New Kirk when we reboot again.
Kando Tor says we should have just called this Rangers.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. Yeah, just
Power.
Just be generic as humanly possible.
Rangers also sounds like it could be like a dark reboot of like Yogi Bear, and it's specifically just about the Ranger. But it could be multiple things. From the Captain Coon, he says, I enjoyed when I saw it and really liked the end when they actually morph. But they used the 95 movie version of Go-Go Power Rangers. Cool.
No,
Then
it's not!
Almost immediately,
Sorry.
then almost immediately swapped to some rap song, lame, that lacked all of Go-Go's energy, which I feel like is a good description of the movie. I don't remember the rankings, but whatever. 6 out of 10 would be.
Whatever that would be. So
Yeah.
that would put him on the
Probably
low
like a
end of
hero.
hero.
I was gonna say maybe like more to like middle of high of hero, but yeah, like around there.
Yeah, not villain though.
No.
It's past the halfway point. Is that everything?
Yep, that was all of them.
Okay, thank you guys. And quick plug for Patreon, if you want to put one of those in for another commentary that we'll do down the line, that's the $5 tier. Lets you put in a tweet-length review. And now, Austin and I and Jason are going to get into our ratings, and then we'll reveal where we've ranked this movie on Letterboxd. Jason, do you want to start? I mean,
Yeah,
you're going off of a viewing where we were all talking and you haven't seen it in a little while, but you know this movie.
Yeah.
So, I could see you going a couple places right now, but I think I know where you're going to go.
Okay.
But let's find out. Go ahead. Do you remember the scale?
So yeah. I know the sidekick is not one of them.
Are you gonna give it a sidekick?
Yeah, it's a sidekick.
So
So
give it a 6 out of 10.
yeah, it's a Zordon out of 10. It's a stretchy arms alpha 5 out of 10. So
Beer belly alpha.
it's definitely.
I love how they had to design an alpha that could fight in a movie with no fighting.
So it's been a minute since I watched this movie, and
Almost exactly
the
that amount of time, actually.
teen.
Sorry.
The teen stuff is definitely not as bad as I remember it. But the Power Rangers stuff is more lame than I remember it. Like, there's nothing going on, and I think while I was watching it, I think if you just did like a cross between like a Pacific Rim and an Edge of Tomorrow, I feel like you would have got there as far as the design and the how you handle the lore, and maybe
that's
not
interesting.
Lore wise, maybe don't make it as complicated as Edge of Tomorrow, but I feel like I don't know, they could have tried with the lore stuff as much as they did with the, you know, because, I mean, I didn't realize that the story guys worked on Madam Web, and I'm giving them way more credit for this than I would have, because it's like, okay, well, this is a way better movie than that. So, well, actually, you know, Madam Web is better as a movie. This is better written, but it makes it more lame.
Enjoy that more.
This is more lame than Madam Web. But I'm giving it a hero because it's just
Wow.
it's I don't know, it's kind of mid.
You open this with "I hate this movie."
Yeah, it's definitely low hero. But it's not villain. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every
That's
time
a
Rita's on screen,
perfectly
it's a
normal
super
rating.
villain. But I don't know.
Wait, she is a supervillain. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. That's true.
What is that line from Madam Web? You had no idea. What? How does that go?
You know, it's a good thing you had no idea today was the day you were going to die.
How are you poisoning
Don't do
me?
stupid things.
You get to the end of this movie and they make the
Don't do dumb
Megazord,
things.
and Rita goes, "How are you
How are you-
poisoning me?"
Ow!
How are you slapping me into space?
Yeah, they do two setup and payoffs in a row there, and one works okay and one is lame. Like the backslap thing that Jayson did at the beginning, which again reminds me a lot of Chris Pine Kirk. That works okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then the one where they just do the obligatory move they learn. Oh, and isn't it also weird that Rita's like, "Throw them into the pit," and then there's no mention of the fact that the place they trained was called the pit? Like, I
Yeah,
thought they
that's
were
true.
I thought they were doing something with that, but that
Okay.
does not come up.
I also
I thought that was more awkward because it's like that pit is where she's trying to pull her crystal out, and then she's like, dump them on top of it, and then we'll have to dig around them to get the thing we
Send
want.
them where I'm trying to get the MacGuffin.
but
yeah,
also
it's like nudged in the way.
my other problem with this movie is it doesn't make me want to watch Power Rangers. It makes me want to watch Chronicle and Amazing One and Pacific Rim and Godzilla 2014, and it's like, dude.
Somebody else mentioned Godzilla 2014
And the
earlier.
first half of the first Planet of the Apes movie.
Is that just because Cranston is in it? Is that...
Cranston is in it.
No, I actually
And
really
he has
like
very
that
little
movie.
screen time.
He's not in a wall.
Yeah.
That's true. He gets crushed by a wall, though.
Yeah.
Not really. He dies more like Kirk in Generations, but still.
Where the birds can get to him.
Where the Rodans couldn't get to him.
I think, Jason, the cross between... You made some really great points, but I think the real cross between Edge of Tomorrow and Pacific Rim is Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Because that movie already reminds me of Pacific Rim, even though it was made before it.
No. Year after.
Really?
Mhm.
I thought it was before that. Okay.
Pacific Rim is 13.
Anyway.
Edge of Tomorrow is 14. But they were made around
The
the same
characters of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan should have been combined into one character named
Named
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Where the birds can get to him.
time. Stop dancing.
Austin,
Do you
what
remember
is-
Power Rangers?
Dude, the blooper reel, I keep talking about this, the stupid blooper reel on this is so much stop dancing.
Really?
That's all they do for half of it.
I gotta watch that.
Dancing?
What?
Oh. Is it, half of it's just dancing?
Yeah. 'Cause everyone on set is dancing. Including
Why?
a
There's no-
including a half-rendered Alpha 5. Keeps dancing.
What?
Stop
You
it.
you can do some like funny CGI blooper stuff. Like I remember in Spider-Man 3, there's one where Spider-Man and Harry are like flying on their glider and Sandman just eats them. I think you can do funny stuff like that, but it's not that.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just them dancing.
Stop dancing. All right, Austin, what is your rating for this, sir?
Okay. So I went back and forth, and I'm still like part of me is still flipping on it, but I think it's probably overall a hero, but there is a part of me that wants to give it a villain, just because I think it starts off with like half an hour of a movie I'm actually kind of into, and then kind of slowly loses that as it goes along into something much more generic. And it's more frustrating because I'm liking the teenage movie they're making at the beginning. So it probably is much more of just an overall hero, but I think I'm going to give it a villain for that, just because it leaves kind of a sour taste.
Yeah, you're echoing everything that's happening in my brain right now. Yeah,
Yeah. Where it's like, where do you fall on that? Like, I could easily flip and be like, this is an easy hero.
well, when
But
something is
uh,
this tonally uneven, it's really hard to decide where to fall on it because parts of it are working and parts of it aren't. And so it's like, do I rate it? I don't know. Like do the things that are working about it like beat out the stuff that isn't enough to give it a hero? The part of the problem is we're doing a podcast about superhero movies, and the superhero stuff is what's not good about it.
that's exactly why I think ultimately I'm landing on, I guess, like a high villain, so like closer to hero. Just because it is the superhero stuff that I'm not into, and I wish it wasn't a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I still think this movie's fine. Like, it's fine enough. Like, I wouldn't begrudge like having to watch it again or
It's
anything like that. But yeah,
okay.
I do think exactly it's okay. It's
I
two thoughts in that I went, oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, I will say, just on a selfish note, as a Ranger fan, I wish it had never been made because better things with the franchise could have happened if not for this movie. It kind of ruined everything.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
I wish Hasbro had never gotten the damn thing. That's part of it. Now that's not affecting my rating at all. I mean, I'm rating it based on the experience I had watching it. But just on a selfish note, the more I'm realizing that this movie is why Hasbro probably got the property, sours me a little bit on the fact that it even got made.
I think.
That's
Yeah,
just a me thing.
I mean, I don't
We've
know
talked
what.
about movies where like they're not great, but we then corrected it after, and we're like, oh, we're a little softer on them now because of that.
Yeah.
So like I can understand having the opposite.
I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
love how Hasbro handled the end of Power Rangers, but like their actual Power Ranger stuff is way better than anything Neo Saban did. So that's why I'm like, I don't know.
I think that was an accident.
Yeah.
Honestly, but anyway, I'm right where Austin is. I think I'm also gonna go high villain. I was real back and forth on it. I did have the best watch of this I've had since the theater this week.
Yeah.
Like getting some
Well, like I said, like
time away
I've
from
had
it,
the same
perspective
thing
from
every
it.
time. Just like it's fine. This is like a well made enough movie. It's just not like anything special or anything.
There's just so much stuff that I wish there was one line about. Like that, I hate that in movies where it's like, I don't even need a whole scene about this. This doesn't have to become a 3-hour movie for things to make sense. I just need somebody to say these 3 words, and I'll know what's happening.
Okay.
Like, there's a bit of that. But anyway, so yeah, high villain for me. Just like Austin, but I'm in the same place where it was difficult to land on it. But it's the
Yeah.
superhero stuff. So let's look at where we placed them. And
Ooh.
honestly, I came into this thinking that I was going to go low hero. And I don't know if that changes where my placement is, but right now, and these are always
Ooh.
subject to change, I've got it right under Batman Returns.
Okay.
Is where I've got it, and I've got it right above Scooby-Doo and Blue Falcon. So it's at 36 for me.
You put it above Joker?
I put a lot of things above Joker now. Yeah, I don't like that
No, I've
movie.
never seen that movie, but
Yeah, no, No, that is dropping further and further.
Although
Joker is still in the right place because I definitely like it still slightly more than Rise of the Silver Surfer. I guess it's tough.
It's a better movie than Rise of the Silver Surfer. That is correct.
But even though I've always felt weird about Batman Returns, that movie has grown on me more recently. Like every time we talk about it, and that's at least a movie with a vision that you can't complain about tonal inconsistency, right? So like, just based on that, I feel like this has to go below it.
It is such just a piece, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Batman Returns.
Knows just what it is. I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah, I can play a bit.
This page to see if I can find where Power Rangers is for you. You've got it.
Yeah, you got it there. Yeah, I
You've
just
got
think about it.
Just under Batman Ninja and just above Supergirl. Well, I'm glad you went with villain because
up a little bit, but...
that is the only. It only makes sense for you to have it this low if you made it a villain. If you said hero and you put it here, I would feel weird about that.
But I also think
41.
the movie's just a... Batman Ninja might have gotten a villain for me, but I like Return of the Joker. I got a hero. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, good call. And I mean, I know
it's like right on that precipice.
Yeah, and you really didn't like Master of the Universe, and you really didn't like Powerpuff Girls, so that makes sense. Batman Ninja, I think
Master of the Universe is awesome.
I'm pretty sure you and I both ultimately landed on a low hero with Batman Ninja because we went in. Now I have to go back and listen to it again, but we both went in thinking we were going to say villain, and then the watch we had while we were talking over it, we liked it more.
You're right.
Do you remember?
You're right. Yeah.
We had actually a really fun.
I remember watching it alone, and I was like,
it.
"This sucks." And then we had a really good time watching it together.
Yeah, it was a.
You
was
are
a movie
my
made for that.
opponent.
You are my opponent. That was one of the weirdest experiences we've had together, I think.
Yeah. No, it was. And Supergirl, I'm like, it's weird because I remember not liking it, but I've also softened on it over time, and I don't know why. So like, if I watch it again, I'm gonna be super bored. But like,
if you sit through it
when I get away from it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Well, it's funny because that's what I thought you were gonna say about this. I thought you were gonna come into this and be like, never mind, it's boring. I thought you were gonna have Man of Steel with it.
No, like I stand by. Like, I think it's just I like the actors. Like the actors do all the heavy lifting, so it's like they just kind of pull me through.
Too bad they couldn't have gotten a TV show of some kind together. That would have been a great TV cast for something.
Yeah.
Well, Austin.
Yeah, and
sorry,
Naomi Scott does quite a bit now, and she's always great.
Yeah. No,
especially after having to be, and this is okay, but like this and then the Aladdin remake.
Yeah.
And she was good. She's good casting for that.
Good stuff.
But that movie was horrible.
That was the first movie that made me like rage in the theater. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do. You wanted to murder people. It was great.
Well, because that was one of my favorite movies, and
Jason's a big Aladdin fan,
and I'm like,
okay.
And it was the first Disney remake that I saw and was like, oh no, and so it's like.
You didn't love when the genie was like, "Oh, woo! You ain't never had a friend like me." What? Yeah.
No, I mean the worst part is that's the best thing about that movie. That's the worst part. So.
It's fair.
You know what just occurred to me? Just getting back to this movie for a second.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of this because you had to bring up the genie from the live-action Aladdin. But we've done this thing in the Power Rangers comics that I never agreed with, which is making the Altarians, making Zordon's race blue. Because I always thought his face was blue just because of the tint of the tube. Like, I never assumed he was actually blue. Even this movie did it. He's kind of blue. It's real light, but he's kind of blue, and he doesn't even have a tint in the wall because he's like metal pieces.
Yeah, In the
No, the tint's more red because we're like doing the
Yeah.
red Power Ranger thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the 95 movie, he's
Well, that makes
not
sense because that would be like his
blue.
energy color, like as a ranger. That's the thing that we do in Power Rangers a lot. So that's
That's
kinda
what I
cool.
mean. Like if he has any tint, it's red. Once we get him like in the wall.
Yeah, but his actual species looks like their skin color is probably blue.
Mhm.
I've never liked that.
Well, and also, yeah.
Anyway, that's not neither here nor there. Austin,
One's blue.
would you kindly reveal the movie that we're going to do next time? It's going to be a couple weeks because I've got another writers meeting next week, so we're going to do something different next Friday. But
Is it the same thing that was winning before?
yeah, I'll refresh it and make for
Okay.
certain. No, I know for sure because it was winning by a really wide margin. It's definitely that.
Yeah, and I kind of figured it would because people love that movie. But
As soon as you picked it, I was like, that's why I went for softball stuff that I didn't think anybody would care about because I didn't think there was any chance I'd win on it.
you could have picked something crazy. You could have been like, "Here's Infinity War."
I could have, but well, you picked two animated movies, so I was like, okay. We usually have a theme based on whatever two things Austin throws in first.
Because I tend to do themes just picking myself. You don't have to follow me. You can do whatever you
Well,
want. I
what'll
don't control
happen
you.
sometimes though is that you don't mean to theme it, but you do anyway, and then I feel like I have to
That's
throw
what
two
happened
more
this
in.
time.
What's that?
That's what happened this time. I picked two movies and then went, oh, I picked two animated.
Dude,
movies.
one time I can't remember what it was. This is a couple of years ago now. You picked two movies and said these have nothing to do with each other, and I went, they came out the same year, and so then I had to
You're like,
pick,
what do you-
and so then I had to pick two things from that year.
I'm like, these two films have nothing to do with each other. You're like, what do you mean? You picked Superman 3 and 4?
But yeah, so Austin's pick won, or one of Austin's picks won by a pretty wide margin, and he's going to tell you what it is right now, which to anybody that hasn't seen it will not sound like a superhero movie, but everybody tells me it absolutely is, and I've just never seen it. So this is actually one of those rare occasions where I don't know the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. We are doing Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And it's on there because it's just Zorro.
Yeah, that character's just Zorro.
Yeah.
And
And it's really good. I'm excited to rewatch that.
hopefully not a problem that I don't know that character, because...
I've never seen the first movie.
Oh,
Like
good.
It's very easy to just jump in. Yeah. There's like one returning character, and it's set up like, oh, this person from his past came back. So it's like, it doesn't even really matter.
is that a
Yeah.
Shrek spinoff?
Yes. And when I watched it, I did a double feature where I watched Mask of Zorro and then that. Like it was the sequel to Mask of Zorro.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
like, oh.
Well,
This
it might
is
as
way
well
better
be,
than
because the
what I
actual
assumed the
sequel to that
second one
movie is
was.
supposed to be awful. I've still
I've
never
heard.
seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I actually, speaking of that, I just bought that on 4K. I'm getting it tomorrow. I'm excited to rewatch that too.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Mask of
say
Zorro, but I-
the crappy sequel.
No, I've never seen Legend of Zorro. I kind of don't want to.
We'll have to do it
But-
someday.
One day.
I don't want to do it either.
Well, at some point we got to do like a theme. We could maybe even do like a month, like a themed sequel month, where it's like sequels to things we've done. That'd be cool.
No, you should do
we
specifically
talked
bad
about that.
sequels to things you've done.
We probably could do a month of just bad sequels to movies we've done. Yeah.
That's not that hard, I don't think. Yeah.
Zorro 2, Joker 2.
I already want to quit when you say that, though. Well, this was, even though I gave it a villain, this was a more pleasant experience than I thought it was going to be when it came up on the wheel.
I thought you were gonna say it's a more
And-
pleasant experience than
and
Joker 2.
Austin, well, it is, and Austin was
Yeah.
actually relieved when it came up on the wheel because we put only stuff that was on our bottom 50 lists, and I had it on mine.
Yeah. I'm still relieved
Rewatching
it
it,
was
do you
this
think?
because there was a
It's
lot
still-
of bad movies.
I would bump it off watching it now. Actually, I don't agree with myself having it on the bottom. I would bump it off now.
I didn't watch that stream.
That makes sense.
What were you guys' number ones?
Mine was Son of the Mask,
Son of the Mask.
and Austin's
what I
was
thought it would
and
be.
Austin's was my number 2,
Oh, really?
which was Man Thing.
Oh, okay.
which is objectively the worst superhero film.
It is
of all
objectively actually the worst superhero movie ever made. I'm just more angry about Son of the Mask.
Yeah.
time. Yeah, which is fair.
What
now,
is it?
I can't
with
say
Man-Thing?
which of them I would sit through again, just because. Well, I think one of them I'm capable of sitting through, and the other one I can't see it. I can't look at it. It's so hard to look at.
I was gonna say we should make a pact right now where it's like if you have to watch one of them, you have to watch both.
Ooh,
Double feature.
God,
Yeah, it only works with a double feature.
man, you pull that off, you're a real friend.
Son of the Man-Thing.
That's. Is that gonna be your stand-in for swearing now? Son of a man thing.
Son of the Mask. No.
Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. As always, we want to say thanks to our patrons, all of our patrons, especially our patron producers. The $10 tier, if you're not already a producer, lets you get in there. You can help us pick movies like we just did for this poll for the program, and you can hang out with me occasionally. I'm actually going to do, this would be a good time to get on because I'm going to do a Discord hangout for the producers tomorrow night. Around 10 o'clock my time, late. So that's a thing we do every now and again, and other fun perks there. And one of those perks is you get your name read at the end of every producer. I'm tired now. Every rewind commentary, and Jason's going to help me read them right now.
Alright.
Jason, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Here, let's go back and forth. Here we go.
Okay.
Thanks to all of our producers and all of our patrons, especially Michael Austin Gulick,
Jesse Surtees.
Joe Gira,
Justin Hayes.
Victor,
Super Billy.
Elliot Slater,
Dr. Hello.
Stone Gasman,
Goofster123.
Joe Turner,
The Amalgam Nation.
Killer Moth Returns!
Matthew Brody.
Abix Stark,
Kareem Roberts.
Damon Bugay,
Adam March.
Serial When Pigs Fly,
Hot Soup.
Michael Martin,
Kate Blaise.
and the Captain Coon. Thanks again, everybody.
All of these people are ultimate humans.
I always get warm and fuzzy when you bring that back.
I love ultimate humans. It should be just, yeah, we should say it in every video. that they
Austin's
are
trying to
our
get me to
fans.
change the name of the channel from Geekvolution to Ultimate Humans.
Well, I tried to legally change my name to Ultimate Human, and they wouldn't let me.
Thanks again for watching. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan. This was Jason.
Yeah.
And Austin, the Day Ghost, who is a sidekick, but it's not a ranking.
Ultimate sidekick.
Exactly, yeah. Ultimate sidekick, defender of the Geekvolution fam and the Ultimate Humans.
No, he said fam again. All right, anyway, appreciate you guys. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.